I'm going to become a giant in the entertainment industry despite the losses. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 26. A seemingly normal class reunion. In the elevator, Chang Ziking held the handrail and laughed so hard that she fell backwards without any ladylike temperament. So Huang Rushi took this advertisement. No wonder you look so bad. Ha ha ha. On the way home, Chang Ziking watched some short videos and in a few minutes she saw 3 milk tea shop advertisements. Thinking of Yang Ruoqian's suddenly bad expression when buying clothes, Chang Ziking immediately understood why her boss was in a bad mood. Yang Ruoqian was angry and said, "How could I know that there would be a business that could run such an outrageous advertisement? If I knew, I would definitely not accept this business order. Who would run such an advertisement before? Who would have thought that someone would run such an advertisement? Think about it. Although we are embarrassed, at least we made money." Chang Ziking patted Yang Ruoqian on the shoulder. "Things are over. Let's think in a positive direction. The company's image can be restored slowly in the future. The company makes money, but it doesn't mean I make money. It's embarrassing and I don't have money. Now everyone in the company thinks that Yang Ruoqian must have made a lot of money by getting 2 popular anchors and receiving advertisements. How could he buy a luxury car worth hundreds of thousands of yuan without making money? But no one knows that he is actually working for the system for free. He doesn't make a penny. It's all because of Shaoyuki, this damn guy who harms others but not himself. He will definitely go bankrupt tomorrow." Yang Ruoqian walked out of the elevator, opened the door, and stopped talking about this sad topic. "By the way, when will Gaonayan come to move?" Chang Ziking snorted. "You care about her so much? Nonsense. Otherwise you will pay the missing 1,500 rent." Yang Ruoqian, who was so poor that he was heartbroken, muttered, "I don't look forward to who your next roommate will be. You must write the rental conditions clearly and absolutely refuse tenants with bad habits. Otherwise I will move directly to your place." Chang Ziking threatened. Yang Ruoqian made a joke without thinking. Is there such a good thing? Chang Ziking's cheeks instantly became hot. "You. Tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock. Remember not to oversleep." Yang Ruoqian didn't pay attention to Chang Ziking's expression. After changing his shoes, he closed the door directly, making a bang sound. Chang Ziking's roar could still be vaguely heard outside the door. What kind of pig can sleep until 5 o'clock in the afternoon? Who are you looking down on? The next day, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Yang Ruoqian had just changed into a set of casual clothes when he heard a knock at the door. "Are you ready? Let's go." "So soon? Don't you girls usually spend more than half an hour putting on makeup?" Yang Ruoqian put on his sneakers, checked his belongings, and pushed open the door. Seeing Chang Ziking standing at the door, Yang Ruoqian was stunned for a long time and even forgot to close the door. I didn't expect that Chang Ziking, who usually looks frivolous and like a silly queen, could actually have the charm of a classical beauty when wearing a cheongsam. Chang Ziking also noticed Yang Ruoqian's gaze and felt proud. She whispered, "How is it? Does it look good?" Yang Ruoqian was silent for a moment and asked uncertainly, "You speak so softly. Are you worried that, if you use too much force, the rope on your chest will break? Did you buy this dress a little too small? Buy a bigger size. You're not fat. Why do you buy such a small size?" From the first sentence, Chang Ziking's smile froze on her face. After the third sentence, Chang Ziking had completely forgotten the purpose of buying this dress and angrily retorted, "I spend my money. I buy whatever clothes I like. What do you care about me? Don't speak so hard. I'm going to collapse." Yang Ruoqian should be able to speak human words instead of being silent. The two quarreled all the way and finally stopped when they arrived at their destination. As soon as Yang Ruoqian got off the car, he saw a message from Shaoyuki on his phone. "Are you there yet? We're waiting for you too." Although Chang Ziking was familiar with everyone, she was not in the classmate group after all, so Yang Ruoqian still told the organizer Shaoyuki in advance about bringing one more person. "We are not late. You came too early." We are in the underground parking lot now, and will be up soon. After replying the message, Yang Ruoqian glanced at Chang Ziking beside him, and asked with a smile, "Can you walk by yourself? Do you want me to help you? What's there to help with?" Chang Ziking said unhappily with a pair of dead fish eyes, "I'm not Lin Daiyu." As she said that, the elevator reached the top floor. As soon as Chang Ziking walked out of the elevator, she attracted a lot of amazing looks. Although the Cheongsam was one size smaller, it did not look out of place on Chang Ziking, but instead added a touch of charm to the classical beauty. Isn't this a celebrity? Definitely not. TSK, look at her boyfriend, he didn't even help her. If I had a girlfriend like that, I would definitely want to hug her. That's the privilege of handsome guys. What do you know? Chang Ziking ignored the looks and comments around her, followed Yang Ruoqian to the door of the restaurant's private room, and opened the door. There was a large round table with about 20 people chatting with each other. When they saw Yang Ruoqian and Chang Ziking come in together, everyone was silent for a while. Except for the organizer Xiao Yuki, no one else knew that Chang Ziking was coming. Chang Ziking's outfit was indeed stunning. However, Xiao Yuki, who was afraid of chaos in the world, followed suit, pretending to know nothing, and took the lead in making a noise with a shocked face. "Did you two get married?" It was no secret that Chang Ziking, the beauty of the computer department, and Yang Ruoqian had a close relationship. Finally together? TSK. Not yet. Chang Ziking smiled generously and found a seat to sit down. Yang Ruoqian also denied with empty eyes. Don't make up such rumors. As soon as everyone arrived, without waiting for the old classmates to exchange a few more pleasantries, the waiter brought the dishes to the table. "Eat, eat, eat, you're welcome." Xiaoyuki was not unfamiliar at all, and took the lead in picking up chopsticks, and soon took the lead in livening up the atmosphere. How was everyone's year? After a few jokes, everyone quickly returned to the familiar state of the past, and began to brag about each other. "Not bad, I passed the exam, and got a job. I went to a foreign company, and the benefits are full. I really envy you. I was assigned to another place, except for the salary, I'm not used to anything, and there are few holidays." Yang Ruoqian, what about you? "I started a small business, and I'm barely making ends meet." "Don't be too modest, I just saw your car keys. What kind of small business is that?" Miss Chang's dress must be at least tens of thousands. The old classmates told each other about their recent situation, bragging about business, and it looked like an ordinary party. The overall atmosphere was very harmonious, without any melodramatic scenes. Soon, everyone was full of food and drink. "Where are we going after dinner?" Xiaoyuki asked, after paying the bill generously. "A class reunion. Of course we should go to the most classic KTV. Let's go, let's go." Yang Ruoqian breathed a sigh of relief. Eating and KTV all in one, a very classic class reunion process. In the bad days of working for the system for nothing, at least there is such a normal and harmonious classmate that can bring him a little warmth in his heart. Chapter 27. Suddenly things became abnormal. "Okay, there happens to be a KTV downstairs with good ratings. I'll order a set meal." Xiaoyuki waved his hand. "Let's sing our hearts out today." Gujuan laughed. "It's time to show off your singing skills. Your singing is terrible. Just stop it. This time I've prepared a German song. I guarantee that your jaws will drop." Chang Ziking glanced at Yang Ruoqian and asked in a low voice, "I don't think I've ever heard you sing. How do you sing?" Yang Ruoqian's mouth twitched slightly, and he replied in the same low voice, "Guess why I never sing? Isn't it because I sing too well, and I'm afraid I'll amaze the audience when I sing? What about you? Stop bragging." Chang Ziking could of course hear that Yang Ruoqian was speaking in a sarcastic way, and snorted, "Mine is okay, I think it's at that level." Neither of them was modest, they seldom sang, nor had they received any systematic training, let alone talent in this area, so their singing skills would naturally not be very good. Sure enough, the plot in online novels, where the male protagonist relies on singing skills to make a splash at the class reunion and slaps the rich male supporting role in the face, is impossible to happen to Yang Ruoqian. So how to take revenge on Xiaoyuki, the villain who caused him to lose 50 million? However, before Yang Ruoqian could come up with a countermeasure, Shaoyuki, the big mouth, had already started to chatter. What are you two whispering to each other? Are you talking about a little secret between the two of us that we can't hear? Shut up. I said it's not true. Yang Ruoqian was furious when he saw Shaoyuki, not to mention that he was still spreading rumors and making trouble at this time. Several people were very good friends in college, and a few jokes with a little color would not be taken seriously. Chang Ziking smiled all the way and didn't say much. A group of more than 20 people came to the door of the KTV in a mighty and noisy manner and entered a large private room under the guidance of the waiter. Wow, such a big room. 4 bottles of beer, so many fruit plates and snacks. Isn't this set meal expensive? Let's pay for the singing. It's a bit immoral to take advantage of one person at a class reunion. Agreed. Shaoyuki picked up a bottle of iced beer and opened it, waving his hand nonchalantly. What are you saying to spoil the mood? Order a song. Didn't old Gu say he would sing a German song? Let him go first. At this time, more than 20 people sat down on the sofa, and Yang Ruoqian and Chang Ziking naturally leaned on each other on the left and right. Gu Jiwen, who happened to be sitting next to Yang Ruoqian, hummed, picked up the microphone and blew, "Give me the song ordering device. Open your eyes and listen carefully." Yang Ruoqian picked up a piece of watermelon from the fruit plate and wanted to see what confidence his old classmate had to dare to sing a German song. Gu Jiwen left his seat, stood in the middle of the room, and took a deep breath. The monitor in the middle of the room lit up, and a line of big words appeared on the title. Snappy, the rhythm of a nursery rhyme came out leisurely, and the noise in the box disappeared for a moment. Everyone's inner thoughts at this time were just one word: ah. Gu Jiwen took a deep breath, followed the beat, and sang loudly, "What kind of skin is it wearing? It's so cool. What kind of skin is a cricket? What kind of skin is it? What kind of skin is it?" After a passionate singing, Gu Jiwen put down the microphone. "Oh dear listeners, how is my singing?" Yang Ruoqian grabbed the microphone and cursed. "If you don't know, you might think that someone with arsenic on his mouth is drunk and crazy. Get back quickly, don't embarrass yourself. You are talking nonsense." However, the protest was ineffective. With the unanimous consent of everyone, Gu Jiwen was driven down. The next few songs were very normal songs, including the most classic Quit Smoking and Confession Ballooning KTV. When someone sings, naturally there will be people chatting, toasting, and playing some entertaining dice games. Gu Jiwen sneered, smashed the dice cup on the table, and shouted, "5 4s, 7 6s, open." "Yang Ruoqian, you finally lost. Give me a glass of wine." Before Yang Ruoqian could say anything, Chang Ziking on the side took the wine glass first, and her red lips moved. "He has to drive later. I will drink for him." After that, the wine in the glass was drunk in one gulp. Perhaps because she drank too quickly. After this glass, the girl's earlobe turned red visibly. Yang Ruoqian was stunned for a moment. "No, there are already designated driver services these days, and I'm not unable to drink a drop of wine, so there is no need to block the wine." But after all, it was Chang Ziking's good intention. Yang Ruoqian opened his mouth, but still did not say what he was thinking. "Keep going." 6 1s. After more than 10 rounds, Yang Ruoqian had some wins and some losses, and was fined a lot of wine, but without exception, Chang Ziking took it. The girl's eyes gradually changed from sober to confused, but her eyes were always focused on the table, refusing to move away for a moment. Soon, Yang Ruoqian lost another round, and Chang Ziking subconsciously reached for the wine glass. Seeing this, Yang Ruoqian couldn't help but remind her, "Chang Ziking, I can drink a little." "Well, no. Drinking is bad for your health. You are not allowed to drink." After saying that, Chang Ziking tilted her head back and drank another glass of wine in one breath. There were still a few drops of wine that were not caught, flowing out from Chang Ziking's lips, sliding down her white swan neck into her clothes. This is a sign of being drunk. If she continues to play, Chang Ziking will get herself drunk. Yang Ruoqian helped Chang Ziking to the wall, put her down gently, and gave his classmates an apologetic smile. "We can't play anymore. If she drinks anymore, I'm afraid something will happen to her." It's okay, it's okay. Shaoyuki put down the dice and whispered to Gujuwen, look at the two of them. Their eyes are almost thread-like, and they still say they don't have a relationship. What do you know? A single person since birth. This is called interest. It's not okay for the beauty in the department to not drink much. Yang Ruoqian walked over very impolitely and sat down. You two can keep your voices down when you are plotting in the future. How about you? How have you been recently? Naturally, the three best friends would not be as polite as they were at the dinner table. Gujuwen sighed. It's just like that. Getting a salary, occasionally working overtime, the life of a worker. How about you? Shaoyuki shrugged his shoulders in a provocative manner. It's still the same as before. Collecting rent to make a living, barely making ends meet. What about you? How is your business doing? Before Yang Ruoqian had time to speak, someone on the other side suddenly came over and patted Shaoyuki on the shoulder. Rich second generation, it's your turn to sing. Go up. Shaoyuki took the microphone, stretched his shoulders, and seemed very confident. Wait until I finish singing. After that, he jumped to the center of the room in one step. Don't I know what your singing level is? Yang Ruoqian was not polite and directly slandered Shaoyuki. Just wait to make a fool of yourself. The organizer and sponsor sang, and everyone still gave face, put down their work, and waited for him to sing a song. Shaoyuki took out his cell phone, connected it to the song selector via Bluetooth, and said with a chuckle, the MV of the song I'm going to sing hasn't been released yet. I'll play it on my audio and video. Everyone, just listen to it. Yang Ruoqian crossed his legs in a state of mind to watch the joke. Very confident. Let's see what surprise you can bring to your father after not seeing him for so many years. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 28. I'm going to recruit you, the troublemaker, into the company. Ding ding ding, ding ding ding, ding 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 ding. When Yang Ruoqian heard this prelude and saw Huang Rushi dancing in the MV, he couldn't hold back. This amazing guy actually chose to sing this song. Damn, I miscalculated. Why are all our classmates here to have fun? Can they be more normal? Exclamation mark. Yang Ruoqian has decided to stay away from the milk tea shop this month. Out of sight, out of mind. Why is he still being attacked when attending a class reunion? In the middle of the box, Shaoyuki showed a confident smile and danced in imitation of Huang Rushi with a loud voice. Unlike Huang Rushi, Shaoyuki's tone has a hint of gentleness that does not belong to a macho man. It gave Yang Ruoqian a different kind of spiritual pollution. You love me, I love you. I love you, you love me. Looking at Shaoyuki singing and dancing, the 20 or so people in the box fell silent at the same time. This song is obviously only a few dozen seconds, shorter than any ordinary song. But these tens of seconds were the longest tens of seconds they had ever experienced in their lives. Finally, at the moment the song ended, Gujuwen couldn't help but curse. Shaoyuki, you are so kind. I was wondering why you were so kind to treat everyone to a meal. It turns out that the finale is here. You deliberately treated us to a meal just for singing this song for us, right? You really made a plate of dumplings just for this dish of vinegar. You have played the part of harming others and not benefiting yourself. Who is this dancer? This is the second time you have used him to pollute our eyes. There is no such thing as 3 times the limit, bastard. Shaoyuki put down the microphone and snorted. I have at least half the credit for this anchor's popularity. What do you know? Yang Ruoqian rolled his eyes. Half the credit? You should be directly responsible for it. After singing passionately, Shaoyuki sat back in his seat with a smile and put his arm around Yang Ruoqian's shoulder. Come on, let's let our boss Yang tell us what big business he is running. If others looked embarrassed, Shaoyuki would definitely not ask loudly in public. But Yang Ruoqian was obviously a relatively successful person who made some money, so it didn't matter. Yang Ruoqian shook off Shaoyuki's arm and said woodenly, I opened an entertainment media company and managed several anchors. Oh. Shaoyuki, who often watched live broadcasts, had his eyes lit up. This industry makes money. Which anchors are under your guild? I'll go to support you when I'm free and give you some gifts. All the other classmates nodded. Yang Ruoqian gritted his teeth and pointed at the picture on the big screen that was still open. That's the one behind you. When Yang Ruoqian thought of Shaoyuki causing him to lose 50 million, he was so angry that his teeth itched. Behind me? Shaoyuki turned around with a look of surprise, looking at Onrush's agile figure in disbelief. Him? The macho dancer? Not only Shaoyuki, but also other students were stunned. Right. After a short silence, the whole box immediately began to laugh, filled with a happy atmosphere. Ha ha ha. Shaoyuki burst into laughter. So this person is an employee of your company. Ha ha ha. No wonder your face was not right from the beginning. It's over. The company's image is completely ruined. In the future, when others mention the Kuiguang Guild, the first thing that pops up in their minds is probably the trembling fat. Seeing Shaoyuki's gloating look, Yang Ruoqian put one hand on his shoulder and said in a cold voice, "Do you believe that I will send you a lawyer's letter? Think in a positive direction. At least your anchor is popular and he has received advertisements and made a lot of money." The other students also nodded. Although the company lost people, Yang Ruoqian must have made a lot of money from the macho dancer. Otherwise how could he have a luxury car and a beautiful woman in his arms? He made a lot of money, but it didn't go into my pocket. The company makes hundreds of thousands, but I, as the boss, only make 5,000. After laughing, Shaoyuki punished himself with a glass of wine and asked, "Does your company still need anyone?" Yang Ruoqian looked at him with disdain. "We need a legal advisor. Anyway, you definitely don't meet the recruitment criteria." "Who said that?" "I have a relative who runs a law firm. He's absolutely reliable." Shaoyuki smiled. "I'll help you make some connections. In return, how about letting me work in your company?" Yang Ruoqian was puzzled. "Why do you rush to work instead of being a good landlord? Are you making trouble for yourself? I think your company must be fun to have a host like the macho dancer." "Don't worry, I will obey your orders 100%. If it were an ordinary interviewer or boss, he would definitely reject the application without thinking." When he heard this, how can running a company be a joke? Want to join because it's fun? Stay wherever it's cool. But Yang Ruoqian didn't refuse at the first time. Because he suddenly felt that if he recruited Shaoyuki, this unstable factor, into the company and kept him under supervision, he should not cause any trouble. If he was allowed to mess around outside, he would be a disaster sooner or later. Seeing that the two were seriously discussing important matters, the other classmates knew what to do and did not disturb them. They started singing and drinking again. "So what do you want to do? What position do you think is suitable for you?" "Publicity." Shaoyuki blurted out. "I think I have a talent for publicity." "Yes, you do have a talent for publicity, and it would be better if you had less of this talent." After recruiting Shaoyuki into the company, Yang Ruoqian could veto all his publicity plans that might cause accidents as a leader and fundamentally prevent the tragedy of Onrush's sudden popularity from happening again. "Okay, come to register on Monday 24th floor of Shengjing Haoyuan." 2 hours later, this farce-like class reunion finally came to an end. "Chang Ziking, are you sober?" Yang Ruoqian packed up his things, walked to Chang Ziking, and waved his palm in front of her eyes. "Can you still walk?" Chang Ziking sat quietly like a kitten, staring at Yang Ruoqian. "I'm not drunk." As she said that, she stood up shakily and took 2 steps forward. Ouch. The stiletto heel on her foot twisted, and Chang Ziking fell straight into Yang Ruoqian's arms, making a hissing sound of pain. "Are you okay?" Yang Ruoqian was startled and hurriedly supported Chang Ziking with a tone of blame. "I told you not to wear such thin and high heels. Don't be mean to me, it hurts." Looking at the two people hugging and kissing each other, Shaoyuki made a TSK sound, turned around and called to other classmates. "Let's go, don't ruin the mood here." Chapter 29 Plan Pass. Chang Ziking was supported by Yang Ruoqian and walked to the underground parking lot step by step. It took a lot of effort to finally stuff her into the passenger seat and help her fasten her seatbelt. The weather was hot at this time, and the underground parking lot was even more stuffy. After a few tossings, the two of them were sweating profusely. Chang Ziking's cheongsam was already tightly attached to her body. If it got wet, the scene could be imagined. After sitting in the driver's seat, Yang Ruoqian quickly turned the air conditioner to the lowest gear, and the cool breeze blew in his face, which made him feel a little more comfortable. After resting for 2 minutes, Yang Ruoqian finally recovered. Looking at Chang Ziking, who had closed her eyes in the passenger seat, Yang Ruoqian couldn't help but complain, "Don't be stubborn, if you can't drink." Chang Ziking quickly opened her shiny black eyes and looked at Yang Ruoqian with a wronged face. It was like a little girl who had made a mistake and was being scolded obediently. Okay. Yang Ruoqian couldn't stand such a look. He turned his eyes away and stepped on the accelerator. "I won't say anything to you, really." It was already very late and there were few cars on the road. The two drove back to the community quickly. After turning off the engine and getting out of the car, Yang Ruoqian opened the door of the co-pilot and gently pushed Chang Ziking. "We're home. Get up." Chang Ziking got out of the car obediently, and her two white arms wrapped around Yang Ruoqian's arms. She was almost hanging her whole body on Yang Ruoqian. Ah, this touch. Enjoy the silky smoothness. Yang Ruoqian only had this one thought in his mind. Ugh, what am I thinking? Shaking off the wrong thoughts in his mind, Yang Ruoqian, who was sweating profusely, finally half supported and half carried Chang Ziking into the house. Yang Ruoqian took a deep breath, squatted down, and helped Chang Ziking take off her pair of black high heels with red soles. He clearly felt that his heartbeat became heavier. Chang Ziking felt her feet being wiped by fingers, and even though there was a layer of stockings between them, she felt a little itchy and couldn't help but let out a soft cry. "Go to bed." Yang Ruoqian wiped the sweat from his forehead and turned on the air conditioner. "You are really tormenting me. Sending a drunk woman home is harder than fighting a war, especially when this woman is a great beauty." Chang Ziking seemed not to understand, and she hugged Yang Ruoqian, but her body kept sliding down. Their bodies were almost pressed together, and Chang Ziking's action almost broke the last tight string in Yang Ruoqian's mind. Although he had been busy with work in his previous life, and had almost no spare time to enrich his personal life, it didn't mean that he was not a normal man. Yang Ruoqian took a deep breath, picked up Chang Ziking horizontally, and walked into her room. The silk fabric and thin stockings of the cheongsam kept caressing Yang Ruoqian's hands. With the pair of blurred beautiful eyes and the rope that was about to be stretched apart by his chest, he felt that his remaining rationality was almost gone. He wished that Chang Ziking, this daring woman, could be executed on the spot. "No, calm down, calm down." After realizing that he actually had unreasonable thoughts about Chang Ziking, Yang Ruoqian forced himself to calm down. This was his best college classmate, the person who had struggled together for 10 years in his previous life. If he took advantage of the other person's drunkenness to do that kind of thing, what was the difference between him and a beast? How should he face Chang Ziking after tonight? It was not worth it to risk a breakup for a momentary impulse. What's more, Chang Ziking got drunk to help him block the wine. If he really liked her, he should pursue her openly instead of taking advantage of her misfortune. After making up his mind, Yang Ruoqian quickly regained his sanity, gently put Chang Ziking on the bed, and covered her with a quilt. "Good night." Yang Ruoqian looked at Chang Ziking, who had closed her eyes, turned around and left the room. Bang! The sound of footsteps receding, and the sound of the door closing, came into the bedroom. 5 minutes later, Chang Ziking on the bed kicked the quilt away and sat up. Where was the slightest sign of drunkenness in her eyes? "You just left like that? Just left? Don't you want to do something to me? I'm like this, and you can still bear it." Yang Ruoqian, are you a human being? You want me to get drunk with a few bottles of beer? 2 kilograms of white beer is impossible. Chang Ziking thought about her performance along the way just now. Her face couldn't help but blush slightly, and she wanted to wrap herself in the quilt. Ah, it's so embarrassing. It's okay to be embarrassed. The most important thing is that her goal has not been achieved. Chang Ziking took off the cheongsam and stockings that were strangling her angrily and lay back on the bed. This man is really hard to chase. I must think of the next plan quickly. From the freshman year to now, for a full 5 years, how come there is not even a little splash? Chang Ziking felt a sense of urgency. Now that the boss has slowly built up the company, he will definitely recruit more anchors and even enter the entertainment industry. When the company is full of beautiful women, won't my opportunities become fewer and fewer? Yang Ruoqian returned to his room, took a cold shower, turned on his computer, and began to make a detailed plan. Yang Ruoqian would not deceive himself. After realizing that he had different ideas about Chang Ziking, he had to make a good plan to chase her. Girls probably don't like to be a dog. Instead of letting her know that I want to chase her, it's better to let her take the initiative to like me. I can't show my meaning too obviously. Otherwise, I will be passive. First, find out what Chang Ziking likes. Alas, I worked more than 10 hours a day in my previous life, and I even forgot to understand this kind of thing. This is a consequence of two friends of the opposite sex who are too familiar with each other suddenly developing feelings. Sometimes, being too familiar is also an obstacle. After making a long-term plan, Yang Ruoqian closed the computer without much sense of urgency. In her previous life, Chang Ziking was still single until she died suddenly from overwork. There was still a lot of time, so there was no need to rush. Oh, I almost forgot. By the way, I'll post another rental advertisement. After Gaonayan moved out, it was not a big deal that the room had been empty. After all, the rent of 1,500 yuan per month was already a huge sum of money for Yang Ruoqian, who was currently short of funds. Yang Ruoqian took out his mobile phone, opened the agency platform, and edited his own house rental information. Well, my roommate is Chang Ziking, and the person who can share the house can only be a girl. According to Chang Ziking, you can't have bad habits, and you must love hygiene and cleanliness. Oh, so troublesome. Deposit 1 month, and pay 1 month. Monthly rent 1,500, but you can't default on the rent. Water and electricity are at your own expense. Internet is free, fully furnished, fully decorated. Move in with your luggage. Done. I wonder who the next tenant will be. Chapter 30 Curbing this unhealthy trend. A week later, at 8:57 in the morning, Yang Ruoqian and Chang Ziking came to the company as usual. Boss Yang. Hello, Boss Yang. Hello, Boss Chang. The one who called out the most attentively was Xiao Yuki, who had just joined the company. Although Yang Ruoqian used the back door to recruit this unstable factor into the company and kept him under his watch, there were still the most basic rules. The two most important ones were that they must obey the leadership's arrangements and that they must not reveal the fact that they were familiar with each other within the company. Yang Ruoqian nodded to the employees. Everyone is very motivated at work. Not bad, not bad, not right. You work so hard and actively. Wouldn't I lose the last little savings I have left? What time do you come to work? After Yang Ruoqian figured out the key points, he immediately turned around and looked at his own employees. Xiaoyuki answered quickly, I came at 8:40, 8:35, 8:50. The employees said their punch-in times one after another to show their enthusiasm and ambition for work in front of the boss. They all came so early? Exclamation mark. How can this be? Exclamation mark. Using the calculation method of elementary school teachers, if one person came 10 minutes earlier, then 10 people came 100 minutes earlier. If they work 100 minutes more every day, wouldn't it be 3,000 minutes more working time in a month? This kind of work spirit that is not conducive to unity must be curbed to the greatest extent. Yang Ruoqian's tone immediately became serious. In the future, you can't come to work earlier than 8:55. All employees nodded subconsciously. With such a high salary, it is reasonable and normal to work no later than 8:55. Wait, what did the boss say? No earlier than 8:55. Exclamation mark. Before the employees could figure out what was going on, they heard Yang Ruoqian continue to talk. Health is the capital of revolution. If you come to the company 1 minute earlier, you will sleep 1 minute less at home. Do you think this can improve work efficiency? No. Security guard. Anyone who comes to work earlier than 8:55 will not be allowed to leave. I repeat, in our Kuiguang group, early arrival and late departure are absolutely not encouraged. Now everyone has managed not to be late, which is very good. I hope everyone will work hard to overcome difficulties and strive not to be early every day in the future. As long as there is a reasonable reason, the company allows late arrival at work within 2 hours and early departure within 2 hours. After speaking, Yang Ruoqian walked into his office leisurely, leaving a group of confused employees there. Boss Yang's words sounded outrageous at first, but if you think about it carefully, it's not as good as it sounds at first. This is just like how you can have the energy to lose weight if you don't eat enough. It's a very confusing statement. And the range of late arrival and early departure is 2 hours. This is also very funny if you think about it carefully. The company said that it was an 8-hour work system from 9 AM to 5 PM, but all employees noticed that the so-called 8-hour work time included the lunch break from 12 noon to 2 PM. The total working time was only 6 hours. Boss Yang just said that it was allowed to be late for 2 hours and leave early for 2 hours. Then wouldn't the real working time only be 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the afternoon? What can I do with such a short working time? I'm afraid it will pass in the blink of an eye. But these words came from Boss Yang's mouth. He is so capable that he has operated 2 anchors with strong profitability in just 1 month. What he said should make sense. The employees looked at the boss, who left confidently, and began to waver in their common sense. Maybe, probably, working 2 hours a day can really improve work efficiency? In the office, Yang Ruoqian opened a system panel and stared at the data of Gaonayan and Huangrushi without saying a word. Gaonayan, anchor, real number of fans 428,712. Rank, unknown, bonus 50,000. Huangrushi, anchor, real number of fans 887,643. Rank, small timer, bonus 5,000. These data look very good. Although they cannot get rich directly, at least they can live a very good life with a bonus of 55,000 every month. But if you look closely at the real number of fans, you can find that Yang Ruoqian's current income is already in a precarious situation. Gaonayan still needs more than 70,000 fans to be promoted to a small timer, which will upgrade Yang Ruoqian's income from 50,000 to a full 5,000. Huangrushi is even more powerful. If he continues to develop like this, it won't be long before the system's bonus will become a huge sum of 500 yuan per month. Added together, the total income is 5,500 yuan, which is quite explosive in the entire rebirth world. No, I will starve to death next month if this goes on. Yang Ruoqian felt a long-lost sense of urgency in his heart. The system stipulates that only 1 anchor can be recruited in a month, which means that I have to wait until next month to have a chance of turning the tables. The search for a new anchor is imminent. But what should I do this month? I can't really eat dirt with 5,500 yuan, right? No, I must curb the rising trend of fans of these 2 people within this month. Is there any good way to suspend employees' work, and it can be reasonable and well-founded? Paid vacation? Yang Ruoqian thought for a while, but paid vacation for no reason is too fake. I have to find an excuse. What kind of excuse can reasonably allow employees to take paid vacation? Yang Ruoqian thought about it, and suddenly a good idea popped up in his mind. Public travel. No, team building. In the name of learning, visiting, and exchanging, organize a team building activity for everyone in the company to go to other places. Wouldn't this turn a lot of precious time for increasing fans into useless garbage time? Going out to study and visit requires certain preparations, right? For example, packing luggage, planning itineraries, etc. It will definitely take time to make these preparations, and this part of time will be given to employees in the form of paid leave. This set of operations can waste at least 1 week of work time. Yang Ruoqian immediately called Chang Ziking to the office. Chang Ziking, come to my office. There is something important. Regarding the drunk incident a week ago, both of them tacitly did not mention it. Yang Ruoqian was playing the long game, and Chang Ziking pretended to be drunk and had amnesia. In the room with only the 2 of them, Chang Ziking acted more casual. What's the matter, boss? I think that if a company wants to develop well, it can't work behind closed doors. Yang Ruoqian talked freely, so I plan to organize the entire company to go out of town to learn from other companies' successful experiences. Where do you think is better to go? Chapter 31 Reward you with 4 days off. Chang Ziqing widened her eyes and asked uncertainly, "Boss, our company is just in its growth stage. If we want to go out for study and exchange, it shouldn't be the right time now, right? Who would organize a group trip for the whole company at such an important time?" Yang Ruoqian patiently made up a lie. As the saying goes, reading 10,000 books is not as good as traveling 10,000 miles. We must learn from the experience of successful large companies in order to develop better. Believe me, a trip for all employees, learning will make the company more prosperous. You just wanted to talk about traveling, right? Chang Ziqing subconsciously felt that her boss was talking nonsense, but then she thought about it. Which of the reasons for Yang Ruoqian to recruit two anchors didn't seem ridiculous? But every time it was successful. The boss has a unique vision and extraordinary judgment. There is no doubt about that. Since the boss is so determined that organizing such a trip, learning during the company's growth period is beneficial to the company's development, he should also have his own reasons. After convincing herself, Chang Ziqing nodded gently and agreed with Yang Ruoqian's words. Where do you plan to go for exchange and study? A place close by? A region with developed industries? Or should we just go abroad? Yang Ruoqian's plan was a product of his brainstorming, but he still had a general idea of the region. In China, the distance is not important. If it is abroad, it will be a big hassle to handle visa procedures. It will probably take more than half a month to finish everything, and the 5,500 yuan bonus is probably a done deal. Then I recommend going to Pengcheng. Chang Ziqing gave her own suggestion. It is one of the 4 first-tier cities, with a developed live broadcast industry and many large entertainment companies. Good analysis. Yang Ruoqian nodded and approved Chang Ziqing's suggestion without thinking. Then go to Pengcheng. Depart next Monday. Starting tomorrow, all employees will have 4 days of paid leave to prepare for this exchange activity. 4 days off. Today is Monday. Wouldn't it be a total of 6 consecutive days of vacation with 4 days off and the weekend? This is almost a small holiday. However, Chang Ziqing was tactful this time and did not ask her boss why he wanted to give employees 4 days off before giving them benefits. The boss is so powerful, so just obey him. She thought about it and asked, then, which companies should we visit? Under what name? You know, big companies are not places where anyone can go to exchange and learn. Aren't you quite capable? You shouldn't bother me, your boss, to think about this, right? Yang Ruoqian looked down at the computer and clattered on the keyboard, pretending to be busy with something. Do you recognize me so much? Chang Ziqing immediately ignited her fighting spirit. Then let's use the cultivation of Cloud Milk and Macho Dancer as a signature. Contact companies with similar anchors and apply for a visit. How about that? Sure. You decide the itinerary. What about the food and accommodation standards? Chang Ziqing asked again. Yang Ruoqian opened the system panel, took a look at the monthly quota that had basically not been touched this month, and waved his hand directly. The standard of meals is 200 yuan per person per meal, and accommodation is in a 5-star hotel, single room. The company will reimburse everything. Spendthrift. Chang Ziqing complained subconsciously. It's my family that's ruined. What are you worried about? Yang Ruoqian said this deliberately. As expected, Chang Ziqing's brows immediately frowned, and her heart, which had been burning just now, suddenly cooled down, and her tone also fell a little. Then, do you have any other arrangements? Other arrangements? Yang Ruoqian thought about it for a while. The accommodation and food expenses of more than 10 people alone are really a drop in the bucket, compared to the monthly quota of 200,000. It would be a waste if the money is not spent. After a little planning, Yang Ruoqian said, the time for communication and learning every day is definitely limited. We can't affect other people's work for a long time. In other free time, half of it can be used for group travel, to appreciate the local customs and practices. The other half can be used for employees to travel freely. Always following colleagues and leaders is not conducive to their real relaxation. You just admit the word travel now, without even pretending, right? Chang Ziqing thought about it, but couldn't help reminding Yang Ruoqian, if you do this, the per capita expenditure may soar to more than 10,000. Are you sure you don't want to think about it again? What is a vacation? What is a tour? Yang Ruoqian seriously corrected Chang Ziking's wrong idea of trying to save money for the company, have fun, play and relax. This is called a travel vacation. Staying in some small shabby hotels. What's the point of traveling with a tight penny split in half? It's better to stay at home and sleep. This sentence is half true and half false, although there is a component of fooling Chang Ziking, but to a certain extent it also represents Yang Ruoqian's own thoughts. Boss, do you remember what you said at the beginning? That you were going to exchange and learn. And have fun and enjoy yourself? You really just want to travel, right? Okay, don't worry about these details. The exposed Yang Ruoqian's face did not change at all and waved to Chang Ziking. You should quickly draw up a plan within today and notify all employees in the company. Chang Ziking blinked. All employees? What about Gao Nayan? She still has to go to the hospital to take care of her mother. For a 5-day trip, it won't delay things if you spend money to hire a few more carriage drivers. Yang Ruoqian had already thought of a response plan. The carriage drivers hired by money are definitely not as careful as our own daughter, but for such a short time, it probably won't be a big problem to make do. The so-called making do is just a change from very good to very good. Chang Ziking nodded. Okay, I'll make the arrangements. By the way, don't worry about your high heels and tight cheongsam during this study exchange. Yang Ruoqian reminded casually, these things are not good for your body if you wear them for a long time. Chang Ziking was stunned, and a smile slowly emerged from the corner of her eyes. I know. In the afternoon, the holiday notice and the company's exchange and study plan notice were issued. Many employees couldn't hold back their emotions and began to communicate in groups of 3 or 2. A middle-aged man wearing black framed glasses and a gentle manner couldn't help but pull Xiao Yuki over and asked in an extremely strange tone, Xiao Xiao, your boss Yang is not a small person, right? This person was Ding Daoye, the legal consultant that Xiao Yuki had found through his connections. And he was not the kind of legal consultant who only provided legal advice at critical moments, but a long-term employee who signed a labor contract, just like the employees of the company's legal department. At first, Ding Daoye thought that this was the second generation of his friend's family playing role-playing games and wasting money, but after working in the company for a week, his 3 views were completely shattered. The benefits are so high, the company atmosphere is ridiculously good, and they even give holidays and organize tours at every turn. They say it is for exchange and study, but once the planned itinerary comes out, even a fool can see that it is public food, drink, and travel, not to mention elites like Ding Daoye. There are only 2 possible situations for this company to have such high benefits. Either Yang Ruoqian is an invisible rich second generation who has too much money to burn and doesn't care about losing money, or Yang Ruoqian's company has extremely strong profitability and such a small amount of consumption is not a big deal for him. My college classmate started from scratch. Xiao Yuki smiled and said proudly, that is a successful person, which is the second situation. Ding Daoye suddenly realized and couldn't help but sigh. Young and promising. I have to learn more from you young people. Chapter 32 Your work attitude is not acceptable. Pengcheng, Youfu Media. In the narrow and cramped live broadcast room, a petite girl looked at the black and white death waiting interface of a MOBA game in front of her, arguing with red face. Suddenly, the door of the live broadcast room was pushed open, accompanied by an angry voice. Ruin Minor, turn off the live broadcast for me and come to my office. As a new supervisor who led several agents, Lin Kao cultivated a lot of mid-level anchors with good profitability. As soon as he took office, he rarely got so angry, which showed that he was really angry. But I'm still broadcasting. Ruin Minor argued, somewhat unconvinced. What are you broadcasting? The only audience in the live broadcast room just now has been driven away by you. Now there is no one in your live broadcast room. What is there to broadcast? Get off the broadcast and come to my office. I don't want to repeat it for the 3rd time. Lin Kao was so angry for a reason. Although he was one of the few middle-level supervisors in the company, he was too inexperienced after all. Most of the anchors he had were mid-level, and he was in urgent need of a top anchor to support the facade. Ruin Minor, who had good looks and gaming skills, was naturally chosen by him at first sight, and he had high hopes for her. But who knew that, after recruiting her into the company, he found that she looked petite, but had a stubborn temper. She insisted that she was a technical anchor, and refused to show her face. She insisted on her own understanding of the game, and argued with every comment. She would not give in even to the boss, who had paid her money. As a result, her popularity was ruined. The boss left in anger, and there was no one in the live broadcast room. Ruoqian Minor pushed open the door of the supervisor's office and said hurriedly, "Brother Lin, no need to call me Brother Lin. Pack up your things, you don't need to come to work." Lin Ko waved his hand in disgust. "Go to the HR department to handle the resignation procedures. It's unlucky for me to meet you." Go to the HR department? Resign. You are fired, do you understand? I suggest you reflect on your work attitude. Ruoqian Minor was anxious. But Lin Ko was too lazy to listen to her explanation. He just called the assistant who had been waiting for a long time and asked impatiently, "What's the matter?" "Supervisor, the employees of the Kuiguang Guild who made an appointment to come to our department for exchanges and study a few days ago will be here soon. Will you take the time to meet them in person, or let Xioliu receive them?" "I almost forgot." Lin Ko looked at his schedule, hesitated for a while, and said, "This guild is not simple. I'll meet them in person." When he first heard that a completely unknown guild wanted to visit his department, Lin Ko subconsciously wanted to refuse. But when he heard that this guild had trained 2 people who were expected to become top anchors, Yunnae and Macho Dancer, in just 1 month, he changed his mind. It was impossible for Lin Ko to let his peers learn and exchange many useful things, but it did not prevent him from observing these 2 anchors who became popular overnight from a close distance and analyzing the reasons for their popularity. If possible, maybe he could poach these 2 people. Although there are often some negative news about the Yufu Guild, such as squeezing anchors, maliciously brushing data, etc., Lin Ko is still very confident that their treatment of anchors is one of the best in the industry. Maybe others will want to change jobs after seeing the working environment of Yufu. As for the penalty for breach of contract after changing jobs, they have a whole set of ways to deceive people, and these anchors without legal basis can never play them. Seeing that no one paid attention to her, Ruoqian Minor realized that she had really been fired and could only sigh and leave the company building disappointed. "Hey, which bridge hole should I sleep in tonight?" Ruoqian Minor's family runs a small business and is not very poor. But when her parents heard that she was going to make money by playing games, they were furious and scolded her for not doing her job properly. If she didn't repent, she would not be allowed to enter the house again. Then she really came out by herself and tried to make money with her gaming talent. And her parents really didn't care about her anymore. They believed that, as long as their daughter failed a few more times and saw the darkness of the live broadcast industry, her enthusiasm would soon disappear. At that time, she would naturally understand her parents' good intentions, go home obediently, and follow the arrangements of her family. The so-called live broadcast dream is actually to make a living from youth and a hard-earned money. In front of life, all dreams have to stand aside. If you tell your daughter this directly, she will definitely not want to believe it, will not listen to the advice, and may even become more rebellious. So it is better to let her see the truth of this industry by herself, which is more effective than all coercion and inducement. The result is also very obvious. Ruoqian Minor, who was too naive, was humiliated in the live broadcast industry, which eats people without spitting bones. The petite girl stared at the dozen or so glamorous people in front of her with a sad face, and a wave of envy rose in her heart. When can I be so successful? Live broadcasting is more difficult than she imagined. But what she didn't expect was that the leader of the dozen people was also observing her with the system at this time. Recruitable? Just downstairs in the Yufu building? Yang Ruoqian muttered in his heart. It seems that she was fired. Ruoqian Minor, recruitable, occupation, anchor. Because she was unwilling to show her face during live broadcasting, she insisted on calling herself a technical anchor, and often had fierce conflicts with the audience, so she was fired by the company. Contact information. 132 asterisk 2034, unwilling to show her face during live broadcasting, often have fierce conflicts with the audience. Yang Ruoqian suddenly became energetic. Generally speaking, the audience does not watch the skills of female anchors playing games, either for their faces or for their ability to make a living. Even if there are really good anchors, they are often regarded as substitutes or even scripts. After all, this kind of thing has been exposed more than once or twice. At the beginning, the audience was still very angry and felt that they were deceived, but after several anchors were exposed, everyone gradually became numb. In general, a purely technical female anchor is equivalent to giving up all the innate advantages of female anchors, which is almost equivalent to a dead end. The resume given by the system also said that Ruoqian Minor often had fierce conflicts with the audience. Aren't such people exactly the talents they are in urgent need of? I didn't expect that a trip on a public trip could actually bring unexpected gains. Hello, are you an employee of UFO Media? Yang Ruoqian, who was determined to recruit Ruoqian Minor, pretended not to know the way. I'm Yang Ruoqian, the person in charge of Kuiguang Entertainment. May I ask which floor is your company's address on? After that, he handed over his business card. I don't. Ruoqian Minor subconsciously wanted to deny it, but when she saw the business card handed over by Yang Ruoqian, she swallowed the words back into her mouth. Kuiguang Entertainment? Is it the guild that can turn decay into magic? PS. Updated in advance. Chapter 33. That's it? Today's follow-up reading is about life and death, please. An ordinary asking for directions was just a small episode and did not attract much attention. After Ruoqian Minor told everyone the location of the company, the group left with laughter. They had just got off the plane and hurriedly went to the airport, hotel, and company. The weather in Pengcheng was very hot. They should have been tired, but they could not see it from their faces. The company's daily tasks were not heavy, and they arranged a 6-day vacation. The employees had been idle for a long time. What's more, the company they were going to visit this time was one of the earliest listed entertainment media companies in China, and it was famous. It is not difficult to understand the excitement of the employees for having the opportunity to deal with the industry leader. Boss, look at other people's office buildings. Wow. This green, these 2 big stone lions, this pine tree. Chang Ziking looked around and said with emotion, it is worthy of being a first-tier city, worthy of being a listed company. It is really high-end. The office building of Kuiguang Entertainment is one of the best in the local area, but it can't be compared with the office space of UFO Entertainment. Gaonayan has lived in the border area for most of her life, and this is her first time to come to such a super city. The girl was deeply shocked by the skyscrapers everywhere and couldn't help saying, boss, you can do it in the future. Although the Kuiguang group was established not long ago, the employees all believe that under the wise leadership of Yang Ruoqian, they will one day have such a working environment. Although the current working environment is very good, the Kuiguang group is a small company after all, and there should still be a big gap with the old, listed companies like UFO, right? This is what most employees who have not worked in other places think. But Yang Ruoqian doesn't care, because he is sure that, even if it is a listed company, at most it has a large territory, and in terms of the internal environment, it is impossible to be as crazy as his company. For ordinary companies, every insignificant expense saved is equivalent to putting more money in their pockets. But for Yang Ruoqian, who is prohibited from putting money from the public account into his personal pocket in any way, saving money is equivalent to throwing money into the sea, and it is better to use it to wear down the will of employees. Everyone walked to the front desk, lined up to register one by one, and took the elevator to the floor where UFO Entertainment is located. After the elevator door closed, Lu Shuiwen couldn't help but sigh. From the 18th floor to the 22nd floor, a full 5 floors. They are all their territory. As soon as this was said, the employees started to discuss. More than that, I just checked the property rights of this office building, and it also belongs to UFO Entertainment. It's just that they don't need so much, so the other floors are rented out to other companies. Amazing. This is the industry leader. How much does it cost to build an office building in Pengcheng? I estimate it to be at least 1 billion. Scary. Yang Ruoqian listened to the discussion of his subordinates and his mouth twitched slightly. As long as you don't work so hard and cultivate an ordinary 18th tier artist every month, you can buy an office building in half a year. Sadly, Yang Ruoqian is now trying hard to prevent his income from dropping from 55,000 to 5,500. It can't be said that buying an entire office building is within reach, but it can only be said that it is far from it. After a while, the elevator stopped at the 18th floor. As soon as the door opened, Yang Ruoqian saw a man in his 30s in a suit and tie welcoming them at the door. Is this Mr. Yang? Young and promising. Welcome, I'm Lin Ko, the agent manager of UFU. While shaking hands, he quietly looked into the elevator. He couldn't help but feel a little surprised. Apart from anything else, there are many employees of Kuiguang Entertainment who are very good looking. I've heard of you for a long time. Yang Ruoqian casually said politely, Manager Lin is a rare talent. After a wave of extremely awkward business flattery, both sides fell into silence for a moment. Lin Ko took the lead in breaking the awkwardness. I take Mr. Yang for a tour. At the same time, he also came to a conclusion in his heart. This Mr. Yang, who looks no different from a college student who just graduated, is not a simple person. As the boss of a company, his clothes are not so formal, but not casual. There is no aggressive momentum, nor does it make the whole person look cheap, stuck in a just right position. He is so young, and his subordinates seem to obey him. This shows that he must have done something to convince all the employees, rather than simply relying on the position to put pressure on them. It is definitely not accidental that such a person can succeed. Lin Ko, who had already used the high welfare and high treatment of listed companies to lure Ruoqian and Huang Rushi, felt a bit uneasy at this time. Such an opponent is very difficult to deal with, and it is as difficult as climbing to the sky to poach people from him. Yang Ruoqian looked at Lin Ko, who was extremely serious, and felt strange in his heart. He couldn't understand why this man was so serious. Could it be that Lin Ko really thought that he could learn something from the so-called learning and exchange? Or did this manager feel that the clothes he wore for comfort during the trip were a bit rude? After thinking about it, Yang Ruoqian said, then I'll trouble Manager Lin. Lin Ko nodded and took Yang Ruoqian to visit several departments that he was most proud of. Look, everyone, this is a company's artist training class. As long as you are a UFO anchor and artist, you can get free small class teaching from professional lecturers. And here is our operations department. Every anchor in UFO group does not have to worry about anything other than live broadcasting, including live broadcast cover design, UI planning, event planning, etc. There are professionals to plan for the anchor's audience group, which saves the anchor's energy to a great extent. We also have a special design department, tailor-made peripheral art designed for artists to expand their influence. And the legal department can protect the anchor's legal rights and interests to a great extent. This is the public relations department. Any negative news that is not good for the anchor, we can suppress it as soon as possible. Restaurant. Lin Ko talked so much that his mouth was dry, but unexpectedly, these people from Kuiguang Entertainment, from leaders to employees, all reacted mediocrely. What's going on? Aren't these things tempting enough? I don't know how many anchors can't walk after seeing these. Can you give some feedback? Lin Ko was a little confused. Of course he didn't know that there was a reason why Yang Ruoqian and his group were calm. Free training class? Even a fool knows that this thing is a scam. Who are they trying to fool? Operations department? Our boss Yang is the most powerful and powerful operations department. Do you know the value of operating 2 big anchors within a month? Design department? Art design. Expand influence? Compared with the Mixuai City advertisement, it is really unnecessary. Legal department? Even a pig can know that the so-called legal department is mostly aimed at its own people. Public relations department? The only advice that Boss Yang gave to employees was to do whatever they want. There is no public relations, and there will never be public relations in this life. Look at the narrow distance between the desks, the long abandoned lounge, and the cramped live broadcast room. Originally, they were very much looking forward to the listed big companies and wanted to broaden their horizons. Now, everyone had only one thought in their minds. That's it. Chapter 34 Corporate Culture. At this time, the people of Kuiguang Entertainment were like those who had been looking at the hire-a-pair photos of a female star on their computers and mobile phones all day long, worshipping her as a goddess, but then one day they met offline and found that it was not the case at all. Disappointed, very disappointed. Seeing this group of people from Kuiguang Entertainment looking at the things they were proud of with the eyes of a caveman, Lin Ko fell into a moment of self-doubt. Could it be that the welfare benefits of a small company like Kuiguang Entertainment were better than those of a listed company? No, it was impossible. Lin Ko immediately denied this guess. It must be that their boss Yang Ruoqian did a good enough job in the ideological education of employees, so that employees believed from the bottom of their hearts that being squeezed out of surplus value in a difficult working environment was a blessing that could not be obtained in 8 lifetimes. It must be like this. Awesome. So awesome. Lin Ko's evaluation of Yang Ruoqian in his heart was even higher, and he even had a little admiration. You know, employees nowadays are becoming more and more difficult to serve. They just ask for overtime pay and weekends off. It's too shameless. People who can make employees obedient like Boss Yang must be terrible. Who would have thought that he was still so young? The future is limitless. Since the sugar coating doesn't work, it's time to change the shells. Although he was at a disadvantage in the first open and secret struggle, Lin Ko was still confident. He turned around, looked at Yang Ruoqian, and said with a smile, "Mr. Yang, our company's employee office area has been roughly visited. The remaining places are the cafeteria and the leadership's office. There is nothing to see." Yang Ruoqian nodded to show his understanding. After all, it is a large enterprise, and confidentiality measures must be taken, not to mention that the people standing here are their colleagues. Let's go to the conference room to sit down next. Lin Ko suggested, drink some tea and exchange company culture together. How about it? Exchange company culture? This suggestion seems not bad. It sounds interesting. Okay, Manager Lin, you can lead the way. Not long after, more than a dozen people came to the conference room. Lin Ko called a few proud subordinates and opened a simple app with the 4 words cool and unrestrained on it. Wolf-like team. Youfu Entertainment advocates results. As long as the results can be achieved, the process is not important. No matter whether you tear or bite, as long as you can bring meat back to the company, you are a successful employee. The company will not be stingy with rewards, including overtime pay, year-end bonus, annual leave, increased share, and even promotion and salary increase. As long as you have performance, you can have whatever you want. Like me, I also went from the bottom of the company to the position of supervisor step by step through this model. But correspondingly, wolves that can't bring back meat will starve to death, and may even be eaten by other wolves. This is the wolf-like team spirit. After saying these truths, Lin Ko also gave a few examples. Using both kindness and force, clear rewards and punishments, and maintaining an upward channel, this set of combined punches will make no one confused. After Lin Ko finished speaking, he glanced at Yang Ruoqian with a little complacency. Look. Overtime pay, annual leave, promotion and salary increase. We dare to promise these things easily. Do you dare? Seeing the employees of Kuiguang Entertainment looking at each other in bewilderment, Lin Ko was even more proud. He believed that with the strength of Yunne and Macho Dancer, they would definitely recognize themselves as strong wolves. This was equivalent to telling the 2 anchors, I have overtime pay, year-end bonuses, annual leave, and even when the anchor's youth meal can no longer be eaten, there is still room for advancement and become the company's internal management. With such a big pie, who would not be tempted? As for the company's other shortcomings, the constraints on the anchors and the big pits hidden in the contract, of course, they did not mention a word. The employees of Kuiguang Entertainment all sat upright. Yang Ruoqian spread out his laptop. Chang Ziking typed on his mobile phone. Gaonayan wrote and drew on the booklet. In short, they all looked like they were listening carefully. Lin Ko was very satisfied. But no one noticed that Yang Ruoqian was actually sweeping mines while turning on the computer. Chang Ziking was harvesting vegetables with her mobile phone. Gaonayan simply started his own doodles on paper. In their opinion, if these things of Youfu Entertainment are attractive, they are not completely unattractive. After Lin Ko finished speaking, He returned to his seat and indicated that it was the turn of Kuiguang Entertainment to talk about their situation. Now, it was Yang Ruoqian's turn to be in trouble. Yang Ruoqian himself couldn't explain the success of Gaonayan and Huang Rushi. If I knew the reason for their success, would I still be so successful? As for the company culture, where is the culture in their company? Can the upper management desperately trying to bring the subordinates to mess up be considered a culture? But after all, he had been a boss for 10 years in his previous life, and he already had a mature way to deal with such emergencies. Huang Rushi, tell me about it. Our company's culture and your own experience. Yes, this tried and tested method is to push it to employees. Okay, boss. Huang Rushi, whose name was called, immediately stood up and began to talk. In my opinion, there is only one core culture of our company, and that is efficiency. Lin Kao heard the word efficiency and nodded slightly. Indeed, work efficiency is very important. Yang Ruoqian was even more crazy in his heart. When did his company become a company that pursues work efficiency? Have you ever seen a company that pursues efficiency and allows employees to be late and leave early at will and refuses employees to work overtime? Efficiency? Everything I'm doing now is to reduce your work efficiency. Huang Rushi took a deep breath and continued. Boss Yang often teaches us that if we don't rest well, we will have no energy to work. So he always advises us to rest more to improve work efficiency. In order to improve work efficiency, Boss Yang specially provides employees with a very private working environment. Take this exchange and study as an example. In order to improve the efficiency of learning and communication, Boss Yang specially gave 4 days off before this, with the purpose of allowing us to recuperate. Huang Rushi said a lot of things, which made Lin Kao and his men present dumbfounded. Let's not talk about whether the so-called exchange and study between the two guilds can learn anything. Just the statement that taking a vacation can improve learning efficiency doesn't sound like human words. Is this macho dancer here to make fun of people? But seeing how he was talking so confidently and seeing the attitude of everyone in the Kuiguang guild who were quite supportive, Lin Kao suddenly felt a little uncertain. Could it be that taking a vacation really improves work efficiency? The lower the work efficiency, the more rest the employees can get. The more rest the employees can get, the more energetic they will be at work. The more energetic they are at work, the higher their work efficiency will be. In summary, the lower the work efficiency, the higher the work efficiency. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 35 Counter Effect. Is the time changing too fast? Why do people in this company have an indescribable strange feeling? Is this the unique temperament of a master? As one of the middle-level managers of a listed company, the last bit of superiority in Lin Kao's heart has completely disappeared. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if neither hard power nor soft power has worked. Lin Kao was determined and planned to release his big move. For a head anchor who has made a name for himself, fight. After Huang Rushi finished speaking, Lin Kao and several other people clapped their hands symbolically and quickly ended the topic and entered the next stage. That is, the two sides exchanged their future plans. Ahem. Lin Kao coughed lightly twice. Our team is currently planning to allocate a lot of resources to create 2 strong personal lives. Benchmarking the old big anchors of major platforms. One is the gentle goddess persona, focusing on daily life and outdoor. The target group is male super rich with super high consumption power. As long as the IP is successfully created, there will even be a chance to enter the entertainment industry. As a listed company, Youfu Entertainment's business naturally involves all aspects, including film and television dramas, variety shows, and singers. Lin Kao didn't go into too much detail. After all, people in the same industry are enemies, and some things can be stopped at the right time. The second persona is a humorous and cheerful man. Shoot comedy short videos, and live broadcasts at the same time. Use high quality content to attract traffic, accumulate a lot of popularity, and use advertising and sales to make back the investment. Listening to Lin Keo's confident talk, Yang Ruoqian finally stopped playing Minesweeper on the computer this time, but listened carefully. Great. A male anchor and a female anchor. And how can they succeed? When doing operations in the future, avoiding these success manuals is equivalent to directly eliminating a wrong answer. Not only that, since UFO Entertainment is going to launch such a big project in the near future, a lot of traffic in the same period will naturally be absorbed. As a listed company, UFO Entertainment has money, people, and technology. Are they afraid that they can't make a anchor popular? Wouldn't this just relieve Yang Ruoqian's pressure to increase fans? This wave of exchanges and learning has made a lot of money. Yang Ruoqian thanked him sincerely and praised him from the bottom of his heart. Manager Lin, what you said really enlightened me. Lin Keo was proud of being praised by others, but he was still modest. No, Mr. Yang has just established the company, and it has been a great success, which shows that he has a unique vision. I wonder what the follow-up plan is? Have you thought about the direction? Of course I have thought about it. The next direction is ruin Miner, who was just fired by your company. Our next direction is to go deeper into the game field. Lin Keo nodded. Games have their own traffic. We can recruit anchors based on their game rank. The standards are clear. It is a wise choice. Although the popular traffic and popular heroes have been almost divided up by the top anchors, as long as the anchor is not too bad, he can take some orders for proxy play, some orders for accompanying play, and post some wonderful operation videos on major platforms, and there will always be some traffic. However, it is unlikely to become a big hit. Yang Ruoqian also understood the meaning of Lin Keo's words. The so-called wisdom, in other words, is a safeguard with a high lower limit, but a very low upper limit. But Lin Keo didn't know that Yang Ruoqian wanted this low upper limit. Very good. After multiple evidences and confirmations, Ruin Miner is 100% his money printing machine, and there will never be any accidents. The system recruitment quota for next month has been decided to be her. Soon, this learning exchange came to an end. Lin Keo turned off the projector, handed his business card to everyone, and said with a smile, if you have anything else, you can call me directly. I have some work to do, so I'll leave first. Of these business cards, Lin Keo hoped that the only two that would work were the two given to Gaonayan and Huang Rushi. He was quite confident about this. After handing out the business cards, Lin Keo turned around and left. All the people in the Kuiguang group had finished everything, so there was no reason or motivation to stay in other people's companies. After drinking some coffee and tea, a dozen people got on the elevator again and left the office building of UFO Entertainment. As soon as the elevator door closed, an employee couldn't help but complain. What? It looks so grand from the outside, but how come it's all broken down once you get in? As soon as the chatterbox opened, the elevator suddenly became lively. Yeah, look at the workstations. They're so crowded. The lounge is covered in dust. It's past 12 o'clock, and I see that no one seems to be taking a break after get off work, which feels weird. Didn't you say you came here to learn and exchange ideas? Why do I feel like there's nothing to learn? His theories are good, but they're too old-fashioned. How can they be as creative as a CEO Yang? It's boring, not as exciting as a dinner tonight. Come with excitement, leave with disappointment. What a listed company, its image is completely shattered. Big companies are just like this. It's true that your own boss and your own company are good. Many employees have made up their minds that after this trip, after the study, they must cheer up and work 10 times harder to repay CEO Yang's kindness. Unfortunately, Yang Ruoqian could not hear the voices of his employees and did not know that the team building he organized had a completely counterproductive effect. Soon, the group left this disappointing place and returned to the hotel where they were staying. After the first day of travel, everyone was tired, so Yang Ruoqian did not organize any team activities. He simply gave everyone a ticket to a high-end seafood buffet, and they could eat whenever they wanted. Too many colleagues having a meal together, especially when there is a leader, is actually not very relaxed. It is better to let them move freely and form their own teams. Now that the summer vacation peak season has just passed, and it is a weekday, there are not many people in the hotel, and there is no need to queue for a long time at the buffet, and there is no need to worry about the good things being snatched up. Yang Ruoqian chose a later time and made an appointment with Xiao Yiki, Chang Ziking and Gao Nayan, 3 people he knew well, at the buffet restaurant. After having enough food and drink, they returned to their rooms. Almost as soon as he entered the room, Yang Ruoqian's mobile phone rang. When he saw the caller ID, it was Chang Ziking. Yang Ruoqian didn't think much about it. He answered the phone and asked, "What are you doing? I finally got out for a chance, and you're just going to have a buffet? No plans for tonight?" Tonight. Yang Ruoqian was puzzled. Does sleeping count as a plan? Chang Ziking laughed angrily. "You're so lazy. You sit in the office all day. How long has it been since you last exercised? This hotel is so nice. It even has its own 24-hour heated swimming pool. Come over and exercise after you've digested the food in your stomach. There's more in the evening." Chapter 36 Chile. Swimming? Why is this woman suddenly concerned about my health? Yang Ruoqian thought for a moment and asked, "I didn't bring any swimming gear. How can I swim?" As for swimming, he still knows a little bit. A cold snort came from the other end of the phone. "I bought it for you. Don't think of such a poor excuse." Yang Ruoqian was even more shocked. "How do you know what size clothes I wear? We have known each other for 5 years since college." 5 years. Chang Ziking was even more angry when she said this. "How can I not know what size clothes you wear?" At this point, what else can Yang Ruoqian say? And it doesn't seem to be a loss for him to swim with Chang Ziking. Okay, when? 9 o'clock in the evening. As soon as he hung up, Yang Ruoqian saw a missed call on his phone, and the number displayed was a string of unfamiliar numbers. Yang Ruoqian looked at the number carefully and felt that it didn't seem like a harassing call. The last time such an unfamiliar call came from a friendly competitor who wanted to poach someone. Yang Ruoqian hesitated and called back. Almost instantly, the call was connected, and then an extremely uneasy voice came. "Mr. Yang, hello, do you still remember me? You asked me for directions this morning at the gate of Yufu Company." Yang Ruoqian was stunned. Ruin Minor? This girl actually took the initiative to call him? Is she willing to take the initiative to join Kuiguang Entertainment? Yang Ruoqian suppressed his ecstatic voice and said lightly, "Oh, it's you. Well, what's your name? What can I do for you?" "My name is Ruin Minor. Mr. Yang, is your company still recruiting anchors?" She really came to join him. "What is this called?" "This is called sending pillows when you are sleepy." Originally, Yang Ruoqian was still worried about what excuse to use to take the initiative to contact Ruin Minor, and what conditions to use to seduce her to join the warm family of Kuiguang Group. Now all the problems have been solved. We are an entertainment company. How can an entertainment company not recruit anchors? Yang Ruoqian's tone was still flat, "But our company is currently in urgent need of game anchors. I don't know you. It just so happens that I'm a game anchor." Ruin Minor said, "I'm not good at anything, but I'm good at playing a certain MOBA game." What a coincidence. Yang Ruoqian held back his laughter and pretended to be a little surprised. "But I remember, aren't you an employee of Yufu? Do you want to switch to our company?" Ruin Minor certainly knew the real meaning of Yang Ruoqian's question, and hurriedly said, "Don't worry, I have already terminated the contract with Yufu peacefully, and there is no penalty." "Okay, I believe in Yufu's vision, and I'll give you a chance. You should know the company address, right? Come to the company for an interview on the 2nd of next month. By the way, add my WeChat, and send me a screenshot of the game's rank with the ID. The WeChat ID is the mobile phone number." Yang Ruoqian pretended to be serious and took care of everything. In fact, he didn't care about Ruin Minor's game rank at all, even if it was bronze or silver. Of course, the rank that Yang Ruoqian was most optimistic about was the diamond to master level. If it was too low, it might be regarded as an electronic pickled mustard, because it was too delicious. If it was too high, it might attract a large number of technical fans, because of its excellent technology. Only those who are between diamond and master are neither high nor low. If you say they are good, they are not the top, but if you say they are bad, they are definitely not bad. Those who are stuck in the middle are the ones who are not very popular. Ruin Miner's voice was a little happy. Okay, I'll add you now. Then I'll hang up first. Also, don't do work-related things after work. This is our company's culture. If you join the company in the future, you must remember this. Why do young people nowadays like to work during non-working hours? We should strongly advocate not working during working hours. Beep beep beep. Within a few seconds after the phone was hung up, Yang Ruoqian received a WeChat friend request. The avatar is a cartoon rough guy, and the online name is a sand sculpture online name. No one would have thought that the owner of this account is actually a petite girl. Hello, Mr. Yang, this is a screenshot of my rank. Picture. Yang Ruoqian clicked on the picture, and the rank displayed on it was Master of the Canyon of Heroes. Not bad, very good, just within Yang Ruoqian's expectations. Very good, you can come for the interview on the 2nd of next month, and we can reimburse the airfare and travel expenses. After typing this line, Yang Ruoqian checked the time, put his phone on the bedside table, put on his slippers, and left the room. Ready to go swimming. The elevator arrived at the floor of the indoor swimming pool. Yang Ruoqian swiped his card to enter. He looked at the empty standard swimming pool with no one in it. He was glad that it was the off-season, otherwise this place would definitely be crowded. Yang Ruoqian called out, "Chang Ziking? Behind you." Yang Ruoqian turned his head and was stunned. Chang Ziking was wearing an island-style swimsuit with a light blue as the main color, with a small gore skirt with floral hems looming. A lace strap was casually tied on her white and plump long legs, and the slight feeling of tightening her flesh made her whole person unique. Hiss. This swimsuit is so close-fitting. Yang Ruoqian restrained his fiery gaze, looked at her calmly, and said tsk twice. "You're dressed like this. Don't swim too hard later." Chang Ziking stuffed the swimming trunks in her hand over and sneered, "You are only good at talking. Change your clothes quickly. I have to supervise you to swim at least 8 rounds today." After that, Chang Ziking hung up the bath towel and started to warm up by the swimming pool. Next to the swimming pool, a decorative citrus tree had slender branches with rich fruits hanging on them. The reflection of the fruit tree rippled in the water with the girl's movements, blending purity and charm to the extreme, like a beauty in a painting. This figure is definitely better than 99% of models. A few minutes later, Yang Ruoqian changed his clothes, and Chang Ziking had already entered the water, floating up and down in the clear swimming pool. Yang Ruoqian, who hadn't exercised for a long time, also symbolically moved his limbs, jumped into the water, and began to swim freestyle according to the posture he remembered. He soon caught up with Chang Ziking in front. Chang Ziking's swimming style is breaststroke, and the movements of her arms and legs are relatively large. The swimsuit she wore was originally beach style, and looking at it from this angle from behind, Yang Ruoqian's hand movement subconsciously slowed down a little. Ahem. Yang Ruoqian almost choked on the water. 10 seconds later, the two reached the shore at the same time. Chang Ziking supported herself to the shore with her hands, leaned against the side of the swimming pool, her jade feet slightly raised, and a drop of water hung on her toes for several seconds, and finally fell reluctantly. This posture made her plump figure slightly deformed. "I haven't exercised for so long, but I didn't expect you can swim so fast." Chang Ziking, who was lying on the shore, swung her calves alternately and used her fingers to play with the water in the pool. She said with some surprise, "I thought you were already unfamiliar with it." Yang Ruoqian withdrew his admiring gaze and said with some pride, "Of course, I'm swimming freestyle." "Freestyle?" Chang Ziking repeated with a chuckle, then slid into the water in her own posture, sank to the bottom of the water, and floated up from Yang Ruoqian's side. The two were so close that they could almost hear each other's heartbeats. "I want to learn it too. Teach me." Chapter 37, Bonus Defense. Chang Ziking's swimsuit was already very close-fitting, and she was soaking wet at this moment, and her tone was somewhat teasing. "Then don't blame me." Yang Ruoqian took a deep breath and said calmly, "Okay, this coach will teach you well." "You." Chang Ziking, the king of strong talk, had a short circuit in her brain, but she only said one word, and she felt her feet being pinched and lifted by a big hand, and her willow waist, which could be held in one hand, was also supported from the lower abdomen. With a lift and a support, Chang Ziking was instantly placed horizontally in the water, and she tried her best to straighten her waist, to prevent her entire face from being buried in the water. You put me down. Chang Ziking turned her head away in shame and anger, and struggled in vain, but she didn't realize that her toes and cheeks were completely covered with a layer of blush. Don't pinch my belly. Yang Ruoqian, who finally got the chance to satisfy his hand addiction, ignored Chang Ziking's pleading. He pinched the soft little foot in his hand again and said coldly, "Stretch your legs straight. You are so fierce. This posture is wrong. Lower your waist a little." Right. Yang Ruoqian patted Chang Ziking's thin waist. The breathing posture is not standard. Your head should be like this. Yang Ruoqian supported Chang Ziking's neck again. Stretch your feet straight. Just like when you wear high heels, you will swim slower if you bend. As he said, Yang Ruoqian pinched Chang Ziking's little feet again. Why is your body suddenly stiff? Why is it so soft again? Don't go to extremes. Woo woo. After more than 20 minutes of training, Yang Ruoqian put down the dying Chang Ziking, clapped his hands, and said with satisfaction, "Congratulations, you have learned the basic freestyle swimming skills now. Let's try it in practice now." In order to avoid sinking into the water, Chang Ziking grabbed Yang Ruoqian's shoulders with both hands, and was shaking so much that she couldn't swear. Learned the skills of freestyle swimming? Learned a shit. She didn't even have the strength to continue swimming now. "Didn't you ask me to exercise? Why do you feel so weak?" Yang Ruoqian helped Chang Ziking back to the shore and joked, "Weren't you so strong just now? You're tired in just 20 minutes? Yang Ruoqian was in a good mood. He could clearly feel that Chang Ziking's reaction was mostly shyness rather than anger. In other words, this girl didn't reject such close contact between the two of them. He had a chance. But just because there is a chance doesn't mean you can just go straight away. That would probably scare others and backfire. It's better to proceed step by step and follow the plan. Yang Ruoqian was able to slowly save his company in 10 years in his previous life, which is enough to show that he is a very patient person and will not ruin the whole game because of a momentary impatience. Chang Ziking's face flushed and trembled. She no longer looked like a female driver. She glared at Yang Ruoqian and said, "I'm a woman. Isn't it normal that I have less physical strength than you?" Moreover, she was not tired at all. But, forget it. Just destroy it. An hour later, after changing clothes and taking a shower, the two took the elevator back to the room. Chang Ziking held the elevator handle and asked unhappily, "Have you decided where to go for your free time? Learn about the local customs and practices of Pengcheng?" Pengcheng has local customs and practices? Yang Ruoqian almost laughed out loud. "A desert in a desert. What's there to learn about? It's better to sleep in, have a spa, and eat and drink as much as you want in the hotel. You really are just looking for an excuse to travel and vacation." The employees of Kuiguang Group will exchange and study in Pengcheng for a total of 5 days. Except for the first day, which is a real exchange and study. The other 4 days are almost just eating, drinking and having fun. After confirming that the boss doesn't care about anything, the employees also let go and play. Some made appointments to go to the movies, some went shopping everywhere, and some even took the urban rail to the neighboring Yangcheng to eat and drink as much as they want. Some even took the opportunity to apply for a pass and went to the port city. After 5 days of crazy fun, everyone finally had a great time and got on the return flight. At the same time, they were all more motivated than the other. Even the welfare benefits of listed companies were not as much as what Mr. Yang gave them. What reason did they have not to work hard? After taking nearly half a month off and having fun for a whole week, the employees were actually a little empty now and began to miss the feeling of struggle at work. Is this what Mr. Yang called improving work efficiency? High, really high. A few hours later, Yang Ruoqian and Chang Ziking, who returned to Jinhai City, left the airport and went home together. "Go to bed early," Chang Ziking urged. "Bye." The two said goodbye at the door and went into their own houses. Yang Ruoqian did not sleep. As soon as he entered the house, he opened the system panel and opened the data statistics of Gaonayan and Huang Rushi, who were currently the most concerned. Did the 2-week vacation temporarily curb the trend of their fans rising? Gaonayan, anchor, real number of fans. 498,761. Rank, who cap, bonus 50,000. Huang Rushi, anchor, real number of fans. 989,003. Rank, small timer, bonus 5,000. It's contained. There are still 5 minutes before the bonus is settled by the system. Hold on. Gaonayan, hold on. The last 1,300 fans must be locked for me. In these 5 most critical minutes, Yang Ruoqian refreshed the system statistics almost every 10 seconds, and he was as nervous as waiting for the results of the college entrance examination. 4 minutes, 1,100 fans are still missing. 3 minutes, 800 fans are still missing. 2 minutes, 400 fans are still missing. 1 minute, 100 fans are still missing. The last 30 seconds, the last 20 seconds, the last 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In the end, at the settlement time, Gaonayan's real number of fans was locked at 499,984, still at the level of Muka. There is still a bonus of 50,000 yuan. Victory. This is a great victory. Yang Ruoqian was relieved and jumped up on the sofa. His learning exchange plan was a great success, saving him the last only 55,000 income. 18-line artist training system host, Yang Ruoqian artists under the company. 2 people, Gaonayan, Huang Rushi. Among them, one is a mediocre person, and one is a small-time person. It is detected that the company's expansion task has been completed, and the company's monthly funds have been upgraded to 500,000. Rewards have been issued. Company funds 785,562.23, 500,000 monthly quota, 55,000 celebrity bonus, company profit 230,562.23. Note, the monthly quota cannot be used to repay loans, and all company funds cannot be transferred to the host's personal account in any form at the same time as the company received the bonus. Yang Ruoqian's mobile phone also sent a text message showing that someone had remitted 55,000 yuan to him. That's great. Although the company's monthly quota cannot be used to repay loans, the profit part and the bonus part can be used. That means I don't have to pay out of my own pocket to repay the bank loan. This 55,000 yuan is Yang Ruoqian's personal disposable income. It is a powerful placebo for a lot of troubles for a long time. Although it is not a huge sum of money, it is a good start and a good sign. However, if the current situation continues, by next month, the number of fans of Gaonayan and Huang Rushi will be raised to a higher level. In other words, these 2 people can only provide him with 55,000 yuan in bonus this month, and by next month, there will only be 5,500 yuan left. Yang Ruoqian, who received the bonus, was full of fighting spirit. It doesn't matter. A good start is half the battle. I believe Ruan Minor can definitely bring me a high level bonus. Chapter 38 New concept of lost work payment. On Monday, the employees were all at work as usual. For them, this was just the most ordinary day among countless days and nights. Wang Ziqin, an intern operation girl recruited by Zhang Ziqing, was monitoring the background data and trying to analyze the meaning behind these data. The company has successfully entered the Shark platform, and the performance of its 2 anchors is very impressive. After Huang Rushi received the milk tea shop advertisement, many businesses came to consult for cooperation. There are goat milk manufacturers looking for Gaonayan to cooperate, and some curious businesses came to Huang Rushi. However, for various reasons, such as Gaonayan himself did not want to take this advertisement, and did not want to affect the company's image, etc. These advertisers were eventually rejected by the company. As a fresh graduate, Wang Ziqin is naturally cautious and obedient to the words of the leader. What's more, she is paid 7,000 yuan a month, and she feels that she is shouldering a heavy burden and feels that she has an obligation to create more value for the company. Otherwise, if the performance is not good, once the internship period is over, this job with such a good salary will not be ruined. The data growth seems to have slowed down recently. Is there any way to increase the data? Boss Yang must have a way, but I can't ask him, otherwise I might lose my job. When performance pressure comes, people can't help but feel anxious. Ding. The screen of the mobile phone on the table suddenly lit up, indicating that a text message had been received. Wang Zikin glanced at it and found that it was a bank message, which showed that her salary had arrived. Just at the beginning of the month, the salary was paid. Wang Zikin was stunned for a moment, not even a day. But looking at the company's environment and treatment, you can tell that Boss Yang is not the kind of person who delays wages. It has become a normal behavior to delay this month's salary until the middle or even the end of next month. Yang Ruoqian's timely salary payment is a bit unusual. Let's take a look at the salary. I took a day off this month, so some money should be deducted. Thinking of this, Wang Zikin unlocked the screen and was stunned when she saw the content of the text message. Your card with the last number XXXX received, remitted from another bank, 9,362.5 yuan on September 2nd at 10:01. The other party's account name, Jinhei Kuiguang Entertainment Media Co. Limited. The other party's account number, XXXX, some bank. Wait a minute, how much? More than 9,000? But her after-tax salary is only 7,000. Where did the extra 2,000 yuan come from? Did the finance department make a mistake? How come I got more salary after taking a leave? It must be the company's mistake. Wang Zikin didn't dare to take such a small advantage and immediately wanted to get up and ask the leader for details. Has everyone received this month's salary? At this time, Yang Ruoqian walked out of the office and said to all employees, the salary slip has been sent through the corporate WeChat. You can check if there are any problems. Salary slip. Yes, you can check the salary slip first to see where the mistake is. Wang Zikin opened WeChat, clicked on her salary slip, and began to check it one by one. Basic salary 7,000 yuan, meal allowance 500, car allowance 500, performance bonus 362.5, loss of work fee 1,000, a total of 9,362.5 yuan. Looking at this unusual payslip, Wang Zikin suddenly fell into deep thought. No, let's not talk about meal allowance and car allowance. Why is there no deduction from salary for taking leave? And what does this loss of work fee mean? Why can I get 1,000 yuan in loss of work fee? Exclamation mark. Wang Zikin immediately raised her hand. Boss Yang, I have a question. However, as soon as she finished speaking, several voices came from the side. Boss Yang, there seems to be a problem with my payslip. Me too. Obviously, not only Wang Zikin, but all employees have doubts about their payslips. Wang Zikin was stunned. It turns out that it's not just my payslip that has problems. Yang Ruoqian nodded calmly. If you have any questions, please ask one by one. Wang Zikin hurriedly stepped forward, handed over her salary slip, and pointed. Boss Yang, I don't understand. What is this loss of wages? Also, I took a sick day last month. You seem to have forgotten to include it. Yang Ruoqian glanced at the salary slip casually and shook his head. No problem, that's it. Last week, the company organized an exchange and study meeting outside the city, which delayed everyone's work progress and performance, so there was loss of wages. There are also holidays. In our company, every employee has 2 days of paid vacation at their disposal every month, and their wages will not be deducted. The reason for doing this is also very simple, to wear down the employees' will and make them always happy. The company's team building is not only relaxing and enjoyable, but you can even get loss of wages. If not all employees are looking forward to participating in team building activities, who will have the enthusiasm to work, there will be no salary deduction for taking leave, and no reason is needed. Hurry up and take it with confidence. After listening to Yang Ruoqian's explanation of the items on the salary slip, Wang Zikin was dumbfounded. Wait, the company organized a trip with public funds and let employees eat, drink and have fun for a whole week without pay, and then they have to pay employees for lost wages? Is this how the term lost wages is used? The company paid for employees to travel, actively delayed their work, and then paid a sum of money to pay employees for lost wages after their work was delayed? Why does this look so much like a scam? Yang Ruoqian looked at the employees standing there in shock and asked in confusion, Do you have any other questions? Wang Zikin wanted to say that she had many questions, but they were not about the salary slip, but about you, the boss. I have no questions, boss. If there are no questions, go back to your post and have a good rest and work hard. Yang Ruoqian almost made a slip of the tongue and quickly corrected himself, coughing lightly. What about others? Do you have any questions? After hearing Yang Ruoqian's explanation of lost wages, the other employees who had raised their hands all put them down silently. There really was no problem. Mr. Yang is really a particular person. Even for the public travel, he has to increase the salary of employees. This kind of thing has never been heard of in any company in the world from ancient times to the present. Now there are still many companies that don't even pay overtime. The company is so conscientious that even the employees as workers begin to feel that they don't deserve this salary. What a fairy boss. Wang Zikin returned to her workstation and looked at her colleagues, and they saw the same emotion in each other's eyes. Mr. Yang is so generous, he must be expecting his employees to achieve more results and expecting his input to motivate his employees to make progress. We must work hard to make the anchor's data beautiful, otherwise it will not be enough to repay Mr. Yang's kindness. At this moment, the door of the company was pushed open. A petite girl walked in. PS. There is also in the evening. Chapter 39. Your work attitude is worth promoting. When Ruan Minor arrived at the company nervously, she saw a scene she had never seen before. Privacy was well protected, and there was no leader to inspect, but every employee seemed to be full of energy, working hard to avenge their hatred. This kind of working state is a scene she has never seen in any company before. Why are the employees of Kuiguang Group working so hard spontaneously? Could it be that Yang Ruoqian has put a poison on all his subordinates? Is it Ms. Ruan? Lu Shuiwen's pleasant voice brought Ruan Minor, who was puzzled, back to reality. President Yang's office is at the innermost part and turn right. Oh, okay, thank you. Ruan Minor said quickly. Ms. Ruan, you're welcome. Ruan Minor did not forget to look around the company environment when she walked to Yang Ruoqian's office, and her feelings were exactly the same as those of other people who had just come to Kuiguang Company. Is this an entertainment company or an entertainment venue? Exclamation mark. Ruan Minor has worked in several companies and her parents' company, but she has never seen such a superior working environment. From listed companies like Yufu to her parents' sweet shop. Such a superior working environment must require impressive performance to survive. In other words, although Kuiguang Entertainment looks small, the people working in it are all outstanding. As long as you can work here, it is definitely more promising than working in Yufu Entertainment. Now that the boss of this company is in front of her, Ruan Minor vaguely feels that this may be her only chance in this life, the only chance to prove to her parents that she is not wrong. Dang. Ruan Minor, right? Come in. Yang Ruoqian's voice came from the office. Here she comes. Finally here, my money printing machine girl. At this moment, the number of fans of Gaonayan and Huan Rushi has jumped up a level, and the bonus that can be brought in next month is only 5,500 yuan. Yang Ruoqian is in urgent need of a tiger general. That is, this tiger general girl looks a little restrained. Don't be nervous, sit down and talk. Yang Ruoqian soothed her and handed her a cup of hot tea. I have read your resume and the replays of the recent live broadcasts. Now I have a few questions for you. Ruan Minor said solemnly. Please go ahead. I saw that you often argued with the audience during the live broadcast. What was your real thought when you did that? Sure enough, she was asked this question. Ruan Minor took a deep breath and tried to compromise. Don't worry, Mr. Yang. I will try my best to avoid this situation in the future, change my work attitude, and try not to have any conflicts with the audience. Seeing that Miss Hu Jiang misunderstood his meaning, Yang Ruoqian waved his hand and smiled. Don't be nervous. I'm asking your real thoughts, not blaming you. Ah, real thoughts? What kind of new interviewer test is this? I haven't heard of it on the internet. After thinking for a long time, Ruan Minor finally decided to tell the truth, because some viewers accused me of being too amateurish, and they didn't hit the point at all. Sometimes I was killed continuously, and the record was bad, but it was really not my responsibility. As if she was worried that Yang Ruoqian would think she was talking nonsense, she hurriedly explained, "You know that MOBA game? I played the top lane and was targeted by the opponent's jungler for a whole game. I took on the pressure of 2 people alone. Logically, our team's mid lane and bottom lane should have an advantage because the opponent's jungler is here, so they are outnumbered. But my teammates are still at a disadvantage even in a situation of outnumbered, resulting in my only advantage being targeted by more and more people, 1 against 2, 1 against 3, and even 1 against 5. After being jumped over the tower several times like this, that advantage is gone, and the record is bad. There is absolutely nothing we can do about this kind of game, but there are always people who are trying to stir up trouble in the comments. I couldn't help but try to reason with them, but they started swearing, and the whole live broadcast room was filled with chaos. But don't worry, I promise that this will never happen again. I will definitely change my work attitude." Seeing the girl talking a lot, Yang Ruoqian, who doesn't play games, didn't know the specific rules of the game at all, so he could only pretend to be deep and nod from time to time to show that he understood. The general meaning is that Ruoqian Minor felt that it was not her responsibility to lose the game, so she argued with the audience who scolded her. "This is the employee I want. An anchor who directly conflicts with the audience." Yang Ruoqian shook his head slowly. "Ruoqian Minor, you made a very serious mistake." Ruoqian Minor's heart suddenly lifted up. "You say, I can change. I promise, I swear. It is a rare quality to stick to the truth and not be shaken by the identity of others. Such a work attitude is very worthy of promotion. Why should you change it?" Yang Ruoqian began to use his ability to make up stories and said, "On the contrary, in my opinion, you haven't done enough. I won't offend others unless they offend me. Since they are clearly scolding you, you should scold them back instead of reasoning with them. Scold them back. Scold them back. Scold them directly!" Exclamation mark. Ruoqian Minor's brain couldn't get around this, so she could only open her mouth and said blankly, "You haven't realized yet that the most important thing in arguing with others is not to convince the other party rationally, but to break the other party's defense psychologically." Yang Ruoqian continued to talk about the perverse reason he had just made up. "It's useless to reason with those people. You have to learn to break their defense from the root. Do you understand? Just reasoning is not enough. Just scold all the audience to break their defense. See how you can still be popular." Ruoqian Minor swallowed a mouthful of saliva and nodded. "Understand, I understand." It turned out that the reason why she couldn't do live broadcasting was not because of the conflict with the audience, but because the conflict between the audience and the audience was not intense enough. "I understand." Yang Ruoqian saw that his deception was a great success and breathed a sigh of relief. Then, the next question. "Why don't you want to show your face during live broadcasting?" Ruoqian Minor took a deep breath. I think I'm a technical anchor. I don't want to show my face." After that, she lowered her head and waited for the boss's scolding. Who would leave their advantages unused? It would be strange if she didn't get scolded. Then Ruoqian Minor heard an extremely excited voice. "Very good. This is the spirit that is lacking in the contemporary impetuous society." Yang Ruoqian was overjoyed after hearing Ruoqian Minor's answer. What he feared most was that Ruoqian Minor would not be able to bear the pressure of extremely poor data one day and turn on the camera to attract attention. But now it seems that his worries are completely unnecessary. All the attributes of Ruoqian Minor perfectly meet the definition of flop. With a clatter, Yang Ruoqian took out a standard contract from the drawer and placed it in front of Ruoqian Minor. "Congratulations, Ms. Ruoqian Minor, you have passed our interview assessment. Take a look at this contract and see if you have any objections to the salary and benefits. If not, sign it. From today on, you will be a member of Kuiguang Group. Hired!" Exclamation mark. Just, are these two simple questions? Ruoqian Minor was a little overwhelmed by the sudden ecstasy and stood up subconsciously. "Okay, no problem. I'll take a look." She picked up the contract on the table and quickly browsed it from beginning to end. When she saw the guaranteed salary of 8,000 yuan and the commission of only 10%, she almost thought her eyes were blurry. Other companies either have high base salary and low commission, or low base salary and high commission, but here at Kuiguang Entertainment, it is high base salary and high commission. Boss Yang, is this salary a bit too high? The more Ruoqian Minor read, the more frightened she was. Is this a work contract, or an unequal treaty? If you take this out, will others think that the anchor is bullying the company? Exclamation mark. This is the standard contract our company gives to the anchor. It won't be high. Yang Ruoqian waved his hand coolly and said in a matter-of-fact tone, remember, when you broadcast live in our company, you must insist on broadcasting your own ideas and your own dreams. Don't feel pressured. All wages are irresponsible, and the company is your biggest backing. You must insist on your own ideas. It was obviously just a very ordinary sentence, but Ruoqian Minor's tears almost burst out. She seemed to suddenly understand why those employees outside were so happy, even though they were working very hard, and why they were still doing their job consciously, even though they had plenty of opportunities to slack off. Because working in Kuiguang Group is really a very happy thing. Yang Ruoqian did not say that he wanted employees to build the company as their home like other bosses, but he tried his best to provide employees with a sense of home in every detail. What is the feeling of home? Home is the most solid backing. Apart from family members, who would let people stick to their own ideas, stick to their own dreams, and come back if they fail. But Kuiguang Group dared to say so. And it seems that they did so. Well, Mr. Yang, thank you. Ruoqian Minor lowered her voice, trying not to make her crying voice too obvious. When will I come to work? Yang Ruoqian couldn't help but raise his head and looked at Ruoqian Minor twice. Why did this girl cry while talking? Is it because she didn't have enough food when she was unemployed and she cried with joy after finding a job? That child is quite pitiful. But it doesn't matter, as long as we work together and make the most of the system. I'll have a bite of meat to eat, and you'll have a bowl of soup to drink. Yang Ruoqian has always been generous to his comrades in arms who advance and retreat together. Go back and rest today, and go back to work tomorrow. Your salary will be paid as usual, don't worry. Okay. Ruoqian Minor had just left when Chang Ziking walked in from outside the office with a document. She straightened her hip skirt, sat in front of Yang Ruoqian, and asked casually, why is the girl crying? Was she rejected by you? She was crying for joy. Yang Ruoqian rolled his eyes. Let's get down to business. Chapter 40. How do we allocate our recommendation resources? Chang Ziking had long been convinced by Yang Ruoqian's seemingly suffocating, but actually highly skilled operation, and she had no ripples in her heart about Ruoqian Minor's employment. It's good news. Chang Ziking kept it a secret for a while and laughed. Conventional good news is bad news to me. Yang Ruoqian's mouth twitched, but he was not in a very bad mood at this time. After all, the current bonus has dropped to 5,500 yuan per month. Whether it drops to 1,000 yuan or 550 yuan, the difference is not that big. What good news? Yang Ruoqian made an expectant expression to Chang Ziking perfunctorily, but his tone did not have any expectation at all. Tell me quickly, I can't wait. TSK, boring. Chang Ziking's playfulness disappeared, and she put the document in her hand on the table. Our guild's turnover reached the standard last month, and we were allocated 2 traffic cards, which can be hung on the banner of the homepage for 3 hours. Ah, it's really good news. Traffic that has not been monetized. Yang Ruoqian was immediately interested and asked, yes, do you have any plans? There are only 2 possibilities. Chang Ziking scratched the title on the document with her fingernail. Either Gaonayan and Huangrushi share the 2 traffic cards, or both of them are concentrated for Ruoqian Minor to use. Gaonayan and Huangrushi are the kind of people who are very popular. The effect of promoting them on the homepage may not be very good, but it is better than nothing. If they are concentrated for new anchors to use, it may work wonders and soar to the sky. But at the same time, the risk is also very high. These 2 traffic cards with excellent effects may be directly sunk into the sea. Yang Ruoqian showed an unfathomable expression and took Chang Ziking's fingers away from the file. No, we actually have a third option. The third option? Chang Ziking was a little confused. Does it mean that we should give both traffic cards to Huangrushi or Gaonayan? To be honest, I don't think the push effect will be very good. Yang Ruoqian looked at Chang Ziking with a look of disappointment. Why do you always think about using them yourself? We can sell these 2 traffic cards to other guilds. Sell traffic cards to other guilds? This is such a genius decision. So genius that Chang Ziking wanted to pry open Yang Ruoqian's brain to see if there was 2 kilograms of water in it. How many guilds are frantically recruiting anchors and frantically squeezing the potential of anchors just to get more turnover and more traffic cards? How much money did this cost? And now you are selling it directly for money? Exclamation mark. Chang Ziking laughed. Have you ever thought that using the traffic card directly on a certain anchor may bring higher income than selling it? It is possible, and the possibility is very high. But all that money will go into the company's account, and it's all numbers that can be seen but not used. How could Yang Ruoqian use such a powerful fan increasing prop for his own anchor? To him, this thing is not a key to wealth, but a hot potato. Chang Ziking, we have to learn to think about problems from another perspective. Yang Ruoqian once again demonstrated his ability to talk nonsense. This kind of promotion within the platform is actually just a kind of internal competition. An internal competition to share the cake with other anchors. We have to jump out of this trap and learn to make the cake bigger, which is the so-called going out of the circle. Make the cake bigger. Go out of the circle. It seems to make some sense. Seeing that Chang Ziking was initially fooled, Yang Ruoqian immediately struck while the iron was hot. Once the anchor's live broadcast method is restricted to the involution mode, it will be difficult to change it. In the long run, I even think that this so-called traffic card is harmful and will restrict the anchor's live broadcast ideas. So, in my opinion, it is better to sell it. After a series of twisted logics, Chang Ziking sighed with sudden enlightenment, as if he had suddenly realized something. So that's how it is. I understand, boss. You understand it now? I don't understand it, but you understand it? This thing is just like writing a novel without any promotion, and the text is good, but it can be ruined. It's complete nonsense. Yang Ruoqian resisted the urge to complain, nodded up and down, and took the opportunity to brag. Although you are the director, you still don't have enough experience. You need to learn more from me. I know. Coach Chang Ziking narrowed her eyes and said suggestively, since we don't need the traffic card, who should we sell it to? How much do we plan to sell it for? How much? Who knows? Before them, there should be no guild selling traffic cards, right? It's completely priceless, and there's no reference. However, Yang Ruoqian quickly thought of a solution. Don't we have the contact information of 2 big companies, SYNOPSIS Media and UFU Entertainment? Call them and ask how much they are willing to pay, and the highest bidder wins. Since we don't know how much the traffic card is worth, let the 2 big companies bid for it themselves. As for whether the heads of the 2 companies will have a dog brain fight, it has little to do with Yang Ruoqian. I'll contact them now. Chang Ziking picked up the file and hurriedly left the office. At this time, at SYNOPSIS Media, an intern agent who was waiting for the recommendation position to be assigned was anxiously waiting for the leader to finish the call. Yes, I'm from the Kuiguang Guild. What do you want to talk to me about? Then he saw Uzaoran, who was always calm and unhurried, stood up from his seat. You said you have a recommended position for the homepage banner? 3 hours? 2. You want to sell it? Is there such a good thing that falls from the sky? Any recommended position is the most scarce resource for a guild. Large guilds have some privileges, but this privilege is limited to being able to directly communicate with the live broadcast platform and secretly trade some recommended positions with them. And the price is very expensive, which is not worth the loss. It is absolutely impossible to buy it from competitors. Uzaoran didn't even think about it and asked directly, how much is it? We want both. What? Those shameless people in UFU want to take it away for 10,000 yuan. They are beautiful. We will pay 50,000. SYNOPSIS happened to have a top anchor who was going to hold a birthday party with explosive money making ability. There would be big bosses giving gifts of thousands or even tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of yuan at any time. What was missing was the homepage banner recommendation. The 6-hour homepage banner, plus the resources in Uzaoran's hands, is enough for his anchor to hang on his homepage for 24 hours. The price over there is 60,000, 80,000. Uzaoran didn't even think about it and directly lowered the price to his bottom line. Xianyu and Yufu are old rivals. Both sides know each other well, so there is no need to bid a little bit to test the water. Okay, deal. Yu Zioran hung up the phone, turned to look at his anxious subordinates, and said in a light voice, originally, you couldn't get a recommendation position this month, but you heard it, so you're lucky. With a big recommendation, those small recommendations like mosquito legs can be appropriately distributed, otherwise the marginal benefits will be particularly serious. The trainee agent was almost moved to tears. After 3 months, he finally got a recommendation from Sister Ran. It was so difficult and hard. If there is no recommendation again, the anchors under his command will really rebel. Kuiguang Guild, you are really my god. Chapter 41 Premiere. Tuesday morning. Ruin Minor arrived at the company 30 minutes early, wanting to show her spirit to her colleagues and leaders. But when she arrived at the door of the company, she found that except for the security guards on duty, there was no one in the company, not even a fly. Hey, Miss XIU. The security guard saw Ruin Minor coming, and waved his hand to indicate that she couldn't come over. Our boss said that no one can be allowed to enter the company gate before 8:55 in the morning. Go downstairs to have breakfast and come back. Huh. Ruin Minor's enthusiasm on her first day at work was hit head on, and what hit her was not the dismal performance, but the care from the boss. The girl who was blocked by the security guard could only go downstairs in a sullen manner, find a breakfast shop to have breakfast, and dawdle for more than 20 minutes before returning to the company. New colleague? As soon as she entered the door, a female voice called her. Turning around, wasn't it the Yunne who has been popular on all platforms recently? Is she calling me? Ruin Minor became nervous. In the previous company guild, the big anchors either live broadcast at home or outdoors. Occasionally, they went to work at the company for other things, and it was basically impossible to pay attention to these small transparent colleagues. Even if they paid attention, they would just order them around. Hello, boss. Ruin Minor immediately became embarrassed. Gaonayan looked at Ruin Minor, just like looking at himself more than a month ago, so confused and full of worries about the future. Don't worry, since the boss values you, it means that you definitely have the potential to succeed, and it's not low. Everyone trusts Mr. Yang so much. Ruin Minor's tension gradually dissipated, and she nodded vigorously. Thank you, boss, I will work hard. Although there are already 2 successful cases in front, Ruin Minor is not blindly optimistic no matter how powerful Mr. Yang is, no matter how he masters the code of wealth. He can only look at people with a sharp eye and a high success rate, but it is definitely not 100%. How can there be a 100% success in this world? After a few greetings, the two returned to their respective live broadcast rooms and started their own work. My office should be in the number 2 live broadcast room. Ruin Minor looked at her work badge, scanned the company for a few times, found her room, and pushed open the door with a little expectation. After seeing the working environment of Kuiguang Group, she also had some small expectations for her workplace. As soon as the door was pushed open, she was stunned. Ergonomic gaming chair? This thing must be at least 10,000 yuan! Exclamation mark. And this stereo surround display, this computer host, this Bose headset. From the appearance, it looks very high-end and expensive. The mute effect of the live broadcast room is also very good. After closing the door, you can hardly hear the sound outside. Ruin Minor, who is an internet addict at heart, suddenly became excited and couldn't wait to turn on the computer and began to check the most basic computer configuration i7-6700 CPU. GTX 980 independent graphics card, and the top solid state, and this memory stick. These are the most high-end equipment that can be bought on the market today. A whole set of equipment it is impossible to handle without 50,000. Isn't that too generous? Ruin Minor was shocked by Yang Ruoqian's generosity. I haven't even started live streaming yet, and I've already invested 50,000? Start live streaming now. Start live streaming immediately. I can't let down Mr. Yang for all his efforts. Yesterday, Ruin Minor already knew why the employees of Kuiguang Group worked so hard and consciously, but it was only now that she really experienced this for the first time. If you don't work hard, you will really feel guilty. Ruin Minor took a deep breath, opened a live streaming room with her newly registered account, drafted a live streaming title, and started live streaming. The ownership of the old account is in the hands of Yufa Group. When Ruoqian Minor resigned, she could only leave the house empty-handed and could not take away the live streaming account that should have belonged to her. The contract of Kuiguang Entertainment clearly stated that the ownership of any work account and social account belongs to the artist. As both are MCNs, the difference is obvious when the two are compared. Ruoqian Minor now only wants to start live streaming quickly, get into work mode quickly, and prove her value to Mr. Yang. As for publicity and promotion, she had no worries at all. Whether it was the sheep slaughtering girl live clips circulating on all platforms, or the macho dancer scam video spreading like a network plague, it showed that Mr. Yang had a lot of experience in publicity. As long as he could do the live content as required, traffic would definitely not be a problem. On the other side, in the president's office, Yang Ruoqian and Chang Ziking were planning to start the preliminary acceptance of the results. Do you think you can do this? Although Chang Ziking no longer doubted Yang Ruoqian's vision, she still felt that this matter was too counterintuitive. Just spray when you are unhappy with the audience. There is no need to spoil the audience at all. Moreover, there is no gift peripheral or other feedback for card application, gift giving, VIP, etc. and the main core of I'm Your Father. Can this really work? Don't worry, there will be no problem. Yang Ruoqian was excited and watched Ruoqian Minor open the game and start matching the game. Chang Ziking peeled a pistachio and asked casually, if a completely newcomer doesn't receive any promotion, will he really not be exposed? Every newly registered account will have a traffic pool for the newcomer. Yang Ruoqian took the peeled pistachio kernel from Chang Ziking's hand and explained casually, the duration of this traffic pool varies from platform to platform, but it won't be completely unexposed. If the newcomer performs well after this round of traffic pool, there will be subsequent pushes, and various live broadcast guilds will begin to invite him to join. However, if there is no improvement after the first round of newcomer benefits are issued, the subsequent live broadcast platform will not push any traffic. The anchors who have been broadcasting for several hours, but have no audience at the bottom of the live broadcast column are perfect examples. This is why, after the previous live broadcast account is abandoned or stopped for a long time, many anchors will choose to open a new account instead of using the old account for live broadcast. Of course, there are problems such as the accumulated income of the old account will increase taxes, but similarly, completely stopping the push is also one of the important reasons. Chang Ziking frowned and asked in a reproachful manner, why didn't you tell me these things earlier? Because I was afraid that you would accidentally run the company well. Don't pay attention to these details. Look quickly, Ruoqian Minor just died once. Yang Ruoqian pointed at the screen and said excitedly, and there happened to be several viewers who entered the live broadcast room. Here it comes. The link that Yang Ruoqian was most looking forward to is finally here. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 42. The line is controlled. What else can I play, if not playing Landlord? Exclamation mark. I lost again. In the simple rental house, Zheng Feilin was so angry that he punched the keyboard. Can these damn top laners stop giving away? Huh. They give away an unstoppable top laner every time, who can't be beaten or escaped, and is so tanky. How can we play a gold promotion match? He didn't make it in a week. In order to prevent conflicts within the team, he kept swallowing his anger and didn't act like an uneducated online pianist in the chat box. But in the end, he still lost. The more he endured, the angrier he thought about it, and the more he took a step back, the more he thought about it. No, he must find a place to vent his emotions. Zheng Feilin picked up his mobile phone, clicked on the game section of Sharklive, and began to look for his own prey in the MOBA partition. First of all, those big anchors and absolutely technical anchors should not be messed with. He is a small silver rookie who may not even understand the opponent's operations. If he dares to speak out, he will be greeted with overwhelming abuse and a 50-year ban. Secondly, those popular female anchors are not easy to mess with because most of these live broadcast rooms have become fan circles and the audience has long been thoroughly purified. Even if the anchor skills are poor, they are not targeting people, and if you dare to say something bad, you may even be cyberbullied. So the easiest to bully are those small anchors. They don't have so many loyal fans, and their own skills may be at the level of frying fish. After screening, Zheng Feilin finally found a very inconspicuous room in the densely packed live broadcast rooms. There is no camera, no carefully designed UI, no activities, and even no information about substitutes. Just burying your head. In playing games like this, the popularity will definitely not be very high. And it just so happens that this anchor just died once, and she is a girl, which makes it easier to bully. The most important thing is that she is still a hateful top player. Zheng Feilin typed a lot. I just came here. Why did the anchor die immediately? Why can you be so bad? Why can you be so bad? Can the top player stop giving up? As soon as this barrage was sent, a strong female voice replied in a very approving tone. Yes, the anchor is so bad when he dies once, which is giving up. The anchor also hopes that this audience friend will never die when playing games, because if you die more than once, some things will be lost. What are the things that can't be saved? With the audience's many years of experience in surfing the internet, it should be impossible to guess, right? The internet addicted girl never tolerates network trolls. Who dares to make trouble with her? It was just a barrage with a venting nature, and Ruoqian Minor almost wrote a short essay. In the past, when she encountered such barrages, she was patient and used her superb understanding of the game to explain as objectively as possible why she died, how much responsibility she had for this death, whether it could be avoided, etc. Then it slowly escalated to arguments, and finally to quarrels. But this time, Ruoqian Minor remembered Yang Ruoqian's teachings. Don't take so many detours, don't do so much useless work, and directly escalate to quarrels. After a burst of abuse, Ruoqian Minor didn't know why. Her spirit was better, her operation was smoother, and the self-consumption of the past few months was completely healed. Sure enough, Boss Yang is amazing. The method he said is useful. Zheng Feilin, who was in front of the mobile phone screen, was scolded by this ridicule, and stayed in front of the screen. He couldn't believe that he had just been severely humiliated by a female anchor playing games. You can't beat others in a game, and you have to be scolded by the anchor for watching a live broadcast. How can this be? Moreover, the anchor who doesn't reveal a rank and doesn't accept playing with others must not have good skills. You're finished when I find you making a mistake. Zheng Feilin stared at the screen unconvinced. Soon, Ruoqian Minor was buried under the tower by the three opponents, adding another number to the death column of his record. He immediately typed, "What else does the host have to say about this? Being killed under your own tower? Huh? Are you a badass? Can you please stop dying?" Ruoqian Minor's reply was even faster. "Yes, the host hopes that this viewer will stand in the fountain when playing games in the future. You will never die in your life, and will never die. If your teammates die, just type and let them learn from you. Ah, can you stay in the fountain like me? This way you won't die." When she said the last sentence, she added a little tail tone. Before Zheng Feilin typed the next word, Ruoqian Minor continued to rant while operating her hero. When your teammates asked you why you couldn't stand there, you said, "Oh, this way I wouldn't die." When your garbage account that couldn't get to skins in 3 regions was blocked, you went to the customer service and said, "Oh, I'm not AFK, I just don't want to deliberately give away heads." I think it's outrageous. How can someone say these things as if they didn't think about it, making you doubt whether you have ever played this game? Or is this your attitude towards life? In order not to die, you give up all chances to struggle? If so, then the anchor can only tell this viewer that this is how your life will be. Zheng Feilin, an internet addict who has not received much education and spends all day playing games in internet cafes, has always cursed at others with dirty words and said some unpleasant words. When has he ever seen such a clear logic, organized, and insidious move that elevates the game to life? He was immediately stunned. The main thing is that the live broadcast platform does not allow dirty words. Zheng Feilin couldn't even come up with a decent counterattack. For the first time, he felt how important it was to study. Otherwise he couldn't even curse people on the internet with a lot of blocked words. However, this aroused Zheng Filin's fighting spirit even more. He was holding back his anger and started to find faults with all his strength just to let this female anchor who played the game poorly but was very stubborn feel the beating of society. So, in a live broadcast room that had just started, the only viewer and the anchor started a protracted tug-of-war. The anchor even missed this cannon. I missed this cannon in this game, but you still found it. It's really hard for you. You are so idle. Maybe you haven't found a job. Zheng Filin cursed again. The anchor flashed cap and took away the opponent. Are you saving skills so much? Do you want to save until the spring festival or until the next life? What kind of person are you playing? If you are so cowardly, don't play in the top lane. Go to the bottom lane and play your soft support. Your understanding of the game is the same as you. You can just bury it. The two soldiers on the opposite side have not been upgraded yet. It is obvious that he has a teammate who is sharing experience. Someone ambushed me in the bush behind. It's a trap with a straight hook and salty bait. It's hard to imagine that a normal human IQ can fall for this. Hiss, you are not actually a human, but some kind of primate with 54 chromosomes? What is a primate with 54 chromosomes? Zheng Filin was stunned for a moment and quickly clicked Baidu to check the meaning of this sentence. After more than 10 seconds, he realized that the female anchor was scolding him for being a monkey. Damn, these days, if you don't have some culture, you don't even know what others are scolding. At this time, it was Ruoqian Miner who was beaten with a terrible record of 1-7, but Zheng Filin, as the attacker, was repeatedly frustrated. No matter how he scolded, he could be scolded back. Sometimes he even felt that what the anchor said seemed to make some sense. No, don't be fooled. When Ruoqian Miner was once again killed by the opponent's 4-on-1, and the record became 1-8, Ruoqian Miner seemed to have little interest in this game. He directly let the hero character walk to the tower by himself, and then opened the landlord from the desktop. Zheng Filin, who was scared by Ruoqian Miner's scolding, subconsciously thought, could this be some kind of in-game tactic? No, it's impossible. Zheng Filin shook off the wrong idea in his mind and criticized. Then what about you hanging up under the tower and playing landlord? You can't explain this, can you? You're playing badly, right? I will report you for playing passively. My line is controlled. What else can I play if I don't play landlord? Tell me, should I go over and give up? Ruoqian Miner called the landlord while talking non-stop. The opponent's movement speed is faster than mine, and he can keep people. If I take 2 more steps forward, I will die. Can't you see that? The brain and the large intestine are very similar, but it doesn't mean that they can be used to hold shit. And there is also passive playing. Please take a look at my teammates. They are 0-20. You don't report them for playing passively, but report me for playing passively? The anchor still says the same thing. It's okay to vent, but please don't excrete. It's really uncultured. Please don't excrete. Finally, Zheng Filin, who had been scolded for a full half an hour, finally couldn't bear the humiliation and showed his last trump card in anger. The anchor said it well. Dare to show your own rank, to see which ward the master is from? Ruoqian Miner threw the last trump bomb in her hand and easily won tens of thousands of happy beans. Then she casually opened her record page and clicked on her master icon. Are you satisfied with the extraordinary bronze in the Canyon of Peaks? Anyway, in the eyes of people like you, everyone is bronze, right? Guanfimu has left the live broadcast room, leaving in shame. But this does not mean that Zheng Filin has given up. Little soft, right? I can't scold you. I'll call my brothers to scold together. I still don't believe it. Tomorrow you have the guts to continue the broadcast. In the office, the 2 people who have been monitoring Ruoqian Miner's live broadcast in the background are almost laughing. Ha 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 ha. I didn't expect that this girl looks delicate and weak, but she is really sharp when scolding people. In order to prevent herself from shaking too obviously, Chang Ziking covered her chest and laughed. No wonder no one watched her live broadcast. After this live broadcast, except for Guanfimu who was arguing with Ruoqian Miner, no other audience could be seen. Yang Ruoqian was also very happy to see this, but he still forced himself to hold back his laughter and said seriously, "Don't talk nonsense. She is justified and respects the facts." She really respected the facts too much. When the audience watched a live broadcast, they could not see the anchor's killing spree, nor could they see the anchor's wonderful operations. Even if they scolded the anchor, they would be scolded back and speechless. It was a double frustration from the visual to the spiritual. Where is the positive feedback? Exclamation mark. How can such an anchor be popular? Chapter 43. What should I do if my employees work too hard? Knock, knock, knock. Just when Chang Ziking wanted to refute something, there was a knock on the office door. "Come in." Chang Ziking blurted out without thinking. Wang Zikin, the operations girl, heard the sound and pushed open the office door. When she looked inside, she couldn't help but be stunned. The boss and Mr. Chang are so close, but this kind of daze only lasted for a few seconds. She quickly put away her curiosity and put the documents she had just sorted out on the boss's desk. "Mr. Chang, I just sorted these data from the backstage. There are no major problems with Gaonayan and Huang Rush's data, but Ruan Minor seems to be a little abnormal. Compared with other new anchors in the same period, the data is a little too low, so I want to apply for a recommendation position for her." Yang Ruoqian took the report and took a look. He refused without thinking. "It doesn't matter. The anchors of our company focus on long-term and stable development. If you see other anchors with fast data, they are overdrawing their potential and are not worth promoting. Don't worry, just take steady steps. In Kuiguang Group, there is no performance pressure." Are you kidding? This data is damn perfect. It is a standard 50 million money printing machine at a glance. If the recommendation position is added, what if a few fans increase accidentally? Ruan Minor gained a few fans, and the company and Yang Ruoqian lost a small goal in minutes. "Ah, is that so?" Wang Zikin was stunned by what she said. "Then, does the live broadcast plan need to be changed? I feel that the live broadcast effect today doesn't seem to be particularly good." "No, how can such a perfect live broadcast plan be changed? The motionless data is confirming that Yang Ruoqian's gaze is finally correct this time. Not only can it not be changed, but in order to avoid unexpected situations like Huang Rushi, champagne cannot be opened in advance, and the live broadcast data must be followed up at all times. This new operation girl is a little difficult to deal with. It seems a little too responsible." Yang Ruoqian took a deep breath and gave Wang Zikin some spiritual chicken soup. "We can't doubt our plans because of one day's setbacks. Since this is the path we chose to take, we must go all the way. Ask yourself, are you willing to develop in the same way as other anchors? Ask yourself, what is your ideal in your heart? What is your ideal in your heart? Are you willing to do the same thing?" Wang Zikin swallowed her saliva. "Yes, the company's anchors, starting from Gaonayan, which one has taken the usual route. You should stick to your own way. If the audience is wrong, you must never indulge them. If the audience has a problem, you must point it out bravely, not bending for a few pieces of silver. This is the correct value." "Thank you, boss." Wang Zikin took back her analysis report seriously. "I understand." Seeing that another employee was fooled by him, Yang Ruoqian felt relieved. It's good to understand. Also, if Ruan Minor has any tendency to doubt herself, you must comfort her immediately and let her stick to her own path and never waver. Understand? "Yes, boss." Wang Zikin left the office full of fighting spirit. Chang Ziking, who was silent throughout the whole process, said, "Yang Ruoqian, I didn't expect that you are also good at giving chicken soup. Moreover, Ruan Minor's data is so bad. Why do you seem to be in a good mood? Are you planning something big?" When Huang Rush's data was not good last month, Yang Ruoqian seemed to have a similar reaction. As a result, Huang Rushi became popular the next day. Is he really playing a big game? What kind of plan is there? I'm in a good mood. Yang Ruoqian almost hummed a little song. Because this time, there will be no accidents with 50 million. The two had just said a few words when a slightly obscene voice came from outside the office. "Boss Yang, can I come in?" "Shaoyuki, what does this guy want to do?" "Come in." "Hey, I'm coming." As soon as he finished speaking, Shaoyuki's agile and slightly plump body squeezed into the office. He pretended not to see the distance between the man and the woman and put a piece of white paper in his hand on the desk in a business-like tone. Take a look. Take a look. What is so mysterious? Thinking that Shaoyuki was the person responsible for drawing up the publicity plan, Yang Ruoqian subconsciously guessed that the paper should be about how to promote Ruin Minor. Sure enough, at a glance, the document was full of publicity methods in all aspects, including various delivery, including using Ruin Minor's higher rank to bump into other bagankas of the same type of games and get the heat from them, etc., etc. These are all methods that seem to be very effective. Well, I finished reading it. Yang Ruoqian put the paper on the table. You did a good job. Go back to work. It's good. Then I won't bother you too. Shaoyuki continued to smile obscenely and left the president's office. What a shameless guy. Yang Ruoqian complained in his heart and then set his eyes on this schedule. How can I say this schedule? It's really good. It's really good. If we follow this plan, maybe Ruin Minor really has a chance to come back to life. We must never let this plan circulate within the company, and we must never let such a publicity plan be placed on Ruin Minor. Such a perfect plan must be completely frozen and never adopted. Thinking of this, Yang Ruoqian suddenly felt a little tired. Why does a boss who wants to mess up so desperately always meet employees who work hard for the good of the company? Obviously, the company has not set up any performance incentive mechanism, and it is obvious that, as long as you mess up every day in the company, you can get the maximum salary. What are you working so hard for? The company does not promote based on performance, does not increase salary based on performance, and does not have commission. Can I just get a chance to win the 50 million yuan prize from the system? After a month of intrigue with the company's employees, Yang Ruoqian is almost out of tricks. In order to make the employees completely slack off, he even came up with an unprecedented public travel loss of work fee. It can't be said that he had good intentions. It can be called crazy. But what are the employees doing? They are actually working? Is this reasonable? Is this too much? It seems that the means are not enough, not cruel enough, and not tough enough. Of course, if it is too obvious and there is no reason for it to be bad, it will definitely be judged by the system as deliberately not operating the anchor, and the bonus will be deducted. So, Yang Ruoqian must find a reasonable excuse. It's not okay to be obvious, but it can be hidden. Chang Ziking looked at Yang Ruoqian's expression and asked curiously, "What's wrong? Didn't you say that the plan is good? Why don't you look right?" "No, I'm so moved. There are such a group of employees who are dedicated to the company." Yang Ruoqian gritted his teeth and said viciously, "I suddenly thought that they sit in office chairs and work hard every day, which is really a great burden on the waist. As a boss, I have an obligation to care about the health of my employees. I can't let this decadent wind spread in the company." Chapter 44 Forced Massage. What are you going to do? Chang Ziking was already used to Yang Ruoqian's shocking words. Are you going to invite all employees to have a spa? Yang Ruoqian's idea quickly matured in his mind. No, just having a spa is only a temporary solution. We have to solve the problem from the root. Chang Ziking blinked curiously. How to solve the problem from the root? Rent the office next door, buy a few massage chairs, and put them there, and require employees to take half an hour out of their working hours every day for a full body massage. What do you think of this idea? As soon as this question was asked, Chang Ziking couldn't help but want to give Yang Ruoqian two big pockets. Well, spend tens of thousands of yuan every month to rent an office space, just to transform it into a massage room, so that employees can squeeze out another half an hour in their already limited working time. What is it for? It has been calculated before that working in Kuiguang Group, theoretically, a day's working hours can be shortened to 2 hours. Now deduct half an hour of massage time. Doesn't it mean that there are only 1.5 hours left in a day's working time? What can you do with an hour and a half? Forget it. The boss must have his deep meaning for doing this. Chang Ziking gave up thinking rationally and asked resignedly, "Okay, then what price range of massage chairs do you want to buy, and how many do you want to buy?" "My suggestion is that 5 is enough." 5? Yang Ruoqian looked at Chang Ziking in surprise. There are only 5 massage chairs for more than 10 employees. If people from the neighboring company see us, they will think we can't afford massage chairs. Buy 5 more, 1 for each person. As for the price, it must be at least 15,000. Otherwise the massage will be uncomfortable and the work will be inefficient. If you don't squander the monthly quota of 500,000 quickly, will it get moldy on your hands? It was not easy to find a loophole that could prevent employees from working without violating the system rules. Of course, Yang Ruoqian would make every effort to use it. For example, if employees are suddenly given paid leave without any signs or reasons, and travel is organized during working hours, the system will determine that it is malicious not to operate its anchors, and the bonus will be deducted. However, if the team building is for the purpose of learning and communication, this violation will not be triggered. Similarly, if employees are suddenly asked to stop their work without any reason and go out to eat and drink, it will also be regarded as a violation. What the system wants is that only those who produce 18th tier artists under the normal operation mode can get rewards. Therefore, Yang Ruoqian cannot recklessly give all employees a big vacation or directly prohibit employees from working. Instead, he must use some more roundabout means to guide employees in this direction. It is not okay to force employees to take a half-hour break during working hours. But under the banner of caring about employees' health and focusing on work efficiency, it is okay to let employees spend half an hour to recuperate during working hours. Yang Ruoqian looked at the silent system and secretly rejoiced in his heart. He is really a genius. No matter how many violations there are, he has bypassed them one by one, right? The next morning, office area. Many employees were whispering to each other at this time. Look next door, a lot of massage chairs have suddenly moved in. What are they doing? Are they using such a high-end office as a warehouse? While they were discussing fiercely, all the employees suddenly heard a thumping sound of high heels stepping on the floor coming from the direction of the president's office. The office suddenly became much quieter. Everyone knows that only President Chang can go in and out of the president's office so frequently. Everyone stop what you are doing. Chang Ziking clapped her hands lightly. Her voice was indifferent, no different from that of an ordinary cold female president. The company has an emergency notice. Emergency notice? Generally speaking, in other companies, the so-called emergency notice is not good news. But in Kuiguang Group, everyone heard the emergency notice and felt inexplicably excited. How urgent is it? What difficulties has the company encountered? Does the company finally need us, the small employees, to show our abilities? President Chang, just say it. Even if it means going through fire and water, we will work overtime to get the job done. After enjoying the benefits of the company for so long, today is finally the time to give back. Then, the employees heard Chang Ziking holding a stack of purple cards and introducing, "You should have seen that some massage chairs are being moved next door." That's right, that's our company's new area, the massage area. Boss Yang noticed that everyone might have back pain after sitting for a long time, so he stipulated that every employee must take 30 minutes to massage during working hours every day. Everyone will have a massage card to record a person's massage time on that day. If this time is less than half an hour, wages will be deducted. Since the company has too many rules and regulations, the company plans to print an employee code of conduct. Everyone must abide by the rules above. All the employees who were looking forward to Chang Ziking's orders and waiting for an order to work overtime until midnight were dumbfounded. After all this time, it turns out that the emergency is to require everyone to take another half an hour to massage during the working hours that are almost exhausted. ZHU Kifeng, a 25-year-old security guard, rubbed his old waist and checked the time with his presbyopic eyes. There was more than an hour left before the end of the get off work at noon, and there was not much time left for everyone to massage. It was indeed no problem for Chang Ziking to say that it was an emergency. After working as a security guard for this company for a month, ZHU Kifeng actually had the rare urge to work hard again. This working environment is too good. If I could have such a working environment when I was in SYNOPSIS Group, would I still look like a 75-year-old at the age of 25? Now when he goes out for a blind date, others think he is here to take care of his grandson. "Security uncle, let's go for a massage." Just when ZHU Kifan was thinking about it, other colleagues patted him on the shoulder. "You have to take care of your health. Maybe you can wait until you hold your great-grandson. Hold your great-grandson. Hold your great-grandson." ZHU Kifan almost couldn't breathe. Under Yang Ruoqian's instructions, Chang Ziking directly bought more than a dozen massage chairs, and at this stage, all employees of the company have one. Driven by curiosity, everyone rushed to the company's new territory, looking at this new territory that belongs to them, and looking at the employees of the company next door inexplicably. After seeing those high-end massage chairs, everyone was a little panicked. Judging from their appearance, these massage chairs didn't look like the low-end ones in the airport high-speed rail. Chapter 45, Battle of Words. Although the employees have never dreamed of such expensive furniture, it does not mean that they have no idea about the price. No matter how you look at it, the price of this high-end massage chair must be more than 10,000 yuan. Most of the employees working in Kuiguang Group are young people, and there are also many fresh graduates. They are burdened with heavy mortgages or rents, and their lives are very stressful. They have to be frugal, even when they have a good meal. No one is willing to buy luxury goods with a price of 5 figures. But the company just bought one for each person, and forced employees to use it every day. After just over a month of work, various high-end computers, expensive entertainment facilities, incredibly short working hours, super high welfare benefits and salary levels, they really feel a little embarrassed to use this massage chair. The work this morning has not been completed. The company does not allow overtime. However, Yang Ruoqian obviously anticipated the employee's passive attitude. He took the lead and walked out of the office first, took a seat on the massage chair, closed the door, and began to enjoy it beautifully. For the privacy of some employees, the massage area has inherited the company's fine tradition of attaching great importance to privacy. Seeing that the boss had taken the lead, the employees looked at each other, and they all hesitated to find a room and lie down in the massage chair. Although they were terrified, it would be a lie for the employees to say that they were not tempted by such a Krypton gold machine in front of them. Things that they could not afford to buy in the past can now be enjoyed for free. Moreover, they do sit for a long time every day, and their waists, shoulders, and necks are not very comfortable. If there is such a thing, to massage for 30 minutes every day, maybe it can really relieve it. After a foolproof operation, the mechanical massage hand of the massage chair began to give employees a full-scale massage from bottom to top, from light to heavy. In just a few minutes, everyone had only one thought in their minds. Damn. So comfortable. All the bones in my body are about to fall apart. It is indeed a machine that smells of money from top to bottom. Sure enough, expensive things have only one disadvantage. That is, they are expensive. That's not right. The employees thought about it and sadly found that the expensiveness is not the disadvantage of the things, but their own disadvantages. Half an hour later, the employees who came out of the massage area no longer had the initial fear and novelty on their faces, and only had expressions of lingering and extreme pleasure. Yang Ruoqian was overjoyed when he saw that all the employees had this expression. It finally worked, and finally the hard work paid off. This generation of hardworking and never giving up employees is really hard to lead. Some employees even asked cautiously, "Boss Yang, that is, can we still use this massage chair after get off work?" Yang Ruoqian was moved by this question. Look at how polite this kid asked. Yang Ruoqian immediately said seriously, you sit boldly, you sit however you want. Our company has always paid the most attention to the physical health of employees. But the premise is that you can't secretly work overtime while using it. He spent so much money, and finally a project successfully began to erode the minds of employees. How can he still restrict their use? This money is worth it, too worth it. It seems that everyone is initially addicted to the comfortable massage, and their enthusiasm for work has diminished a lot. Yang Ruoqian felt unprecedented relief. After all the commotion, there were only a few minutes left before the morning off-duty time. The employees had just finished relaxing and were busy with the next round of relaxation. The last shift was not about working, but about relaxing. But this time, they did not eat snacks, watch a movie, or take a nap as usual. Instead, they secretly formed a group of employees behind the backs of the two leaders, Yang Ruoqian and Chang Ziking, and gathered in the company's entertainment room while the two leaders were having lunch. The employees actually organized a meeting on their own initiative. Have you read this employee code of conduct? Those who don't know would think that we pointed a gun at Mr. Yang's head and made him sign an unequal treaty. Everyone, I think we can't bully the company like this anymore. What do you think? Yeah, if the company goes bankrupt by accident, where can we find a job with the same treatment? Yes, if everyone is lazy and enjoys themselves, we won't have anywhere to cry when the company goes bankrupt. Ruin Miner's data is not very good. We have to find a way to improve the data and give the boss a big surprise. Agree. Then let's start working hard after work and think of a good way. Yang Ruoqian, who spent a wonderful afternoon in the office, didn't know that his employees had spontaneously organized a meeting at noon and decided to work hard to repay his kindness. If he knew, he would definitely suppress this unhealthy thought as soon as possible. At this time, he was using the background on the computer to monitor Ruin Miner's data like yesterday. The afternoon working time came, and Ruin Miner started broadcasting on time. Almost as soon as the broadcast started, several data appeared in the background. Several viewers entered the live broadcast room. Well, so many people. Yang Ruoqian frowned, but after carefully looking at the data of these accounts, he was relieved again. One of the IDs is Guan Fimu who came yesterday, and the other IDs are also of low level. It seems that they are not high quality accounts, so don't pay attention to them. As expected, these people did not have any intention of making money after pouring into the live broadcast room, but started to find faults and provoke from the beginning. Is the anchor a dog who bought an account? I can't see that you played it well yesterday. If you have the guts, play a silver account to prove your strength. Ruin Miner's embarrassed voice came from the other side of the screen, but I don't have a silver anchor account. I can't even play a silver game with one hand. What can I do? After experiencing the baptism of fire yesterday, Zheng Felin's defense was much higher. He smiled coldly. It doesn't matter, we have a silver account. Ruin Miner said along, oh, so you are a silver player. No wonder you asked so many suffocating silver questions yesterday. If you are a silver player, it can indeed be explained. What did the silver player do to you? After 3 consecutive silvers, Zheng Felin was so angry that he was shaking, but he still sent his account to Ruin Miner in private chat and agreed with his other brothers that if the anchor showed any operation that could be criticized, they would criticize to death and never let it go. In the eyes of many low-scoring players, masters who often operate in high-scoring segments are likely to be uncomfortable when they come to low-scoring segments and may not be able to kill at will. This is their chance to criticize. Oh, not bad. It's still silver 1, half a step to gold. Ruin Miner praised with a hint of sarcasm. She would never be nice to the trolls. Soon, the first game began. To the disappointment of this group of trolls, Ruin Miner's technology was a pure dimensionality reduction attack for players in this segment. In almost 5 or 6 minutes, the opponent became an ATM, killing 2 with 2, and killing 5 with 5. In just 15 minutes, the game was over. Zheng Felin and others were stunned. They couldn't find anything to criticize in the whole game. Oh, my opponent is too weak. I made a lot of mistakes this time. But you guys shouldn't be able to see that with your level. Ruin Miner sighed after finishing the game. It's not challenging at all. I don't really want to play anymore. The anchor just got lucky. The opponent happened to be giving away his son. Play a few more games if you dare. Zheng Felin and his group were so angry that they couldn't let Ruin Miner go so easily. They immediately sent out provocative comments. Okay, I'll help you get to gold. Ruin Miner laughed and clicked the game match. 13 minutes later, the opponent's base exploded. Another game. 16 minutes later, the opponent's base exploded. Finally, one of Zheng Felin's roommates had an idea and found a flaw that was not really a flaw. After watching 3 games, I found that the host has been sucking the blood of teammates. I can take 3 lanes by myself, so of course I'm powerful in a fight. What kind of skill is this? Ruin Miner operated while glancing at the barrage and then said in a tone of teaching a child, "For a player of the level of my teammate, his responsibility in the game is to make me suck blood. Do you understand this? Because I'm better than him and he is worse than me, so the effect of putting economy on me will be greater. It is natural for the strong to suck the blood of the colored pen. And when you can't find even one person who can suck blood in this game, you should know that this is your worst game. You can't find someone who can suck blood in the silver game. There can't be someone who can be so bad." In Zheng Felin's dormitory, a roommate couldn't help but complain, "Damn, this host is too talkative, right? I said she played alone, and she actually found a direction to criticize me? How come no matter what they say, it can be attributed by the host to their poor skills?" Another roommate sat up and sneered, "Are you stupid? They understand the game better than us. Can't we just find other shortcomings?" As he said that, he began to type, "Why does the anchor scold his teammates? The game environment is ruined by people like you. If you can't attack the understanding of the game, then attack the character. Put a big hat on." Ruin Miner's voice came from several people's mobile phones. As long as someone says something offensive, he will affect the second person. If the second person meets someone who is worse than him in the next game, he will attack this person. So, I should be the first person and not suffer this loss. Oh, and when you can't find anyone to scold, you should reflect on whether you are the worst person. Want to put a hat on? Ruin Miner doesn't buy it at all. Zheng Felin refused to admit defeat and retorted again, "As a public figure, can you spread some positive energy? So you gave the other side a kill to increase the opponent's gaming experience. You call being bad at playing positive energy? You are too kind. After the fight, the difference is so big that it will explode into a relic. The host has nothing to say and can only ask the Buddha to give you the first place on the merit list." This time, everyone in Zheng Felin's dormitory was completely defeated. It seems that, no matter what they say, the final reason is that they are bad at playing games, right? The most important thing is that they are a group of silver players, and they really can't refute it. After a round of verbal battles, Ruin Miner accurately hit the most vulnerable links in the hearts of the trolls again and again, making them fall into deep self-doubt. Zheng Felin, it's not that I don't help you, but I can't stand it anymore. I can't stand it anymore. I'm leaving. I'll help you get back when I reach gold. In just a few seconds, the revenge team formed by Zheng Felin fell apart and fled from Ruin Miner's live broadcast room. The author is also Bayan, and I don't mean anything against Bayan. Chapter 46. Open the champagne. As the time for getting off work neared, in the CEO's office, the petite Ruin Miner was standing obediently, not even slightly showing the look of having just been full of sarcasm towards the audience. "Boss, am I not doing this in a good way?" Ruin Miner was feeling very guilty at this moment, because she not only scolded away a returning customer, but also several new customers. Although it was really fun to live broadcast, how could she face people in the boss's office with such a dismal report? Judging from her previous work experience in UFO, she would definitely be scolded today, or at least seriously criticized. Then, she heard the boss Yang, who was already well known in the circle, say this at the big desk, "You did a good job. Huh. You did a good job!" Exclamation mark. Yang Ruoqian took the report and pretended to take a look at it, then nodded seriously and said, "According to the data, the number of viewers in your live broadcast room today is 5 times that of yesterday, and they stayed longer, which is a great improvement. Very good. And there are also repeat viewers, which means that the audience stickiness is high, which is a precursor to a big fire." A precursor to a big fire? Ruin Miner was confused and asked weakly, "Then, tomorrow, shall I continue to live broadcast in this style? This girl is completely different online and offline." Who could have imagined that the short and confused Ruin Miner would be an online top scorer in liberal arts once she sat in front of the computer? Seeing that his employee was a little shaken, Yang Ruoqian immediately coaxed him. "How do you feel after broadcasting these 2 days?" "Mood? I feel pretty good." Ruin Miner blushed slightly, as if thinking of her endless talk during the live broadcast. "I just feel a little too free." That's not called letting go of yourself. It can be said that your nature is released. Yang Ruoqian nodded seriously and said, if a job makes you feel painful, how can you be efficient at work? Since you feel happy when you live broadcast now, is there any need to change it? When a job can make people feel happy, it means to a large extent that it is difficult to make money from this job. Even if you take your hobbies as a job, when performance pressure begins to appear and money begins to be involved, this interest will soon become a heavier burden. Take professional gamers for example. Which professional gamer didn't love playing games? But when this love becomes a job for survival, the relaxing pastime becomes a high-intensity training all night long. Every game is about one's own worth, salary and reputation. Over time, the love is worn away. And now Ruoqian Minor is still broadcasting so happily, which means she is still in the stage of self-entertainment. As long as Ruoqian Minor maintains this self-entertainment mentality, earning 50 million from the system is just around the corner. Okay, don't have any psychological pressure. Get off work. After driving home from get off work, after driving for a while, Chang Ziking, who was in the passenger seat, suddenly turned around, crossed her arms, pretended to be alert and asked, this doesn't seem to be the way home. Where do you want to take me? Yang Ruoqian thought about the bonus he was about to get, weighed the funds in his bank account, and said generously, in order to celebrate the brilliant achievements our company has made since its opening, I decided to buy a bottle of champagne and celebrate it tonight. For this reason, Yang Ruoqian spent a lot of money to order a bottle of expensive Spade Ace. If you count his previous life, Yang Ruoqian hasn't been so extravagant for at least more than 10 years. So happy. Although Chang Ziking didn't know why Yang Ruoqian was happy, the corners of her mouth curled up. Then you might as well buy some more seafood, and I'll make you a big meal tonight. Make a big meal? Yang Ruoqian was stunned, and then he looked at the girl he had known for so long with a suspicious look. You can also cook. How come I don't know? Chang Ziking was immediately furious. Of course you don't know. Have you ever thought of understanding me even once in 5 years? Shut up. Go shopping. So, the two of them stayed outside for more than an hour before returning home. Do you want to eat at your house or mine? Yang Ruoqian asked, after changing into slippers. Chang Ziking was almost full of anger, and she didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Go to your house. Your kitchen is so clean that mice shake their heads when they enter. Do you think you have side dishes or kitchen utensils? Back to your house. Yang Ruoqian, who ordered takeout and went to restaurants every day, glanced at his kitchen with a guilty conscience and found that Chang Ziking was not exaggerating at all. There was not even a cutting board in his kitchen. It's not my fault. It's just that I'm too busy. To ease the embarrassment, Yang Ruoqian stuffed the champagne into the refrigerator and volunteered to ask, then I'll help you? Come on. Chang Ziking rolled her eyes and refused directly. People who have never touched housework can only make things worse in the kitchen. You doing nothing is the greatest support for me. Yang Ruoqian was happy to enjoy the ready-made food. Of course, he did not forget the well digger and praised Chang Ziking. You are quite virtuous. It was indeed unexpected that Chang Ziking, who was usually a little goblin, could have this skill. It's good to know. After a while, Chang Ziking had changed her hip skirt and black stockings into home clothes and knocked the iron pot twice with a spatula in her hand. Are there any taboos? Chang Ziking began to process the ingredients and asked casually. Nothing taboo, Chef Chang, just do your best. Light or heavy? Light. After a simple exchange, the kitchen was left with only the sound of Chang Ziking cooking and her busy figure. For some reason, Yang Ruoqian suddenly felt that this scene had an inexplicable warmth, and soon he became dazed. Chang Ziking had been tinkering in the kitchen for nearly an hour and finally heard a voice. It's done. Come in and help me serve the dishes. I'm going to wash my hands. Yang Ruoqian came back to his senses and hurried into the kitchen. At a glance, he saw steamed lobster with vermicelli and garlic sauce, steamed scallops, stir-fried clams with ginger, scallion and black bean sauce, and so on. The seemingly simple dishes, but in fact, they require extremely high heat, were placed in the incubator. Awesome. Really awesome. Humph, I'm glad to know. Chang Ziking took off her apron and tiptoed into her room. The glutton in her stomach was immediately aroused. Yang Ruoqian served the dishes to the table, poured the chilled champagne into the glasses, sat at the table, and waited for Chang Ziking to sit down and then feasted. 2 minutes later, there was a sudden sound of footsteps from the direction of Chang Ziking's room. Yang Ruoqian just turned his head subconsciously and heard a click, and the lights in the entire restaurant dimmed. Power outage? No, the air conditioner is still working. Before Yang Ruoqian could figure out what was going on, he saw Chang Ziking holding a candle in her hand, walking towards him step by step. The candlelight flickered gently, and 2 candles flickered in the girl's eyes. The atmosphere was already set. Yang Ruoqian was surprised and said, "Why do you have to be so ceremonial when eating? Can you see the table clearly like this?" Yang Ruoqian, shut the fuck up. Chapter 47. Champagne opened again. Time flies. Under strict review and supervision for half a month, Ruin Miner's data has increased at a gratifying rate. Although it is not completely motionless, under the dual suppression of the lack of recommended resources and live broadcast style, the speed of fans increases much slower than that of new anchors in the same period. Moreover, most of the fans who enter the live broadcast room are rushing to spray with Ruin Miner passionately and will not be chain spread on the internet, like Huang Rush's dancing video. After believing that there will be no more accidents in this action, Yang Ruoqian gradually reduced the frequency of paying attention to Ruin Miner's data. However, Yang Ruoqian did not know that on some social platforms, several inconspicuous videos slowly flowed into the public's field of vision. After being completely abused in several rounds of verbal battles, the staff of Zheng Filin's dormitory learned from their mistakes, summed up several failed lessons, and came to a conclusion. It is impossible to defeat this female anchor with the ID Xiao Xiao and with their little brains. They must exert the power of internet public opinion to have a chance to turn defeat into victory. They want to upload the video of the anchor scolding to the internet, so that more people can announce Xiao Xiao together. I can't scold you, and I can't drown you with saliva. However, a few days later, they found out that they were wrong. At the beginning, the video traffic was very low, and most of the comments felt that the anchor's words were inappropriate. But a few days later, for some reason, these videos suddenly received a large wave of traffic at the same time, and the comment area exploded instantly. Unlike what Zheng Filin and others imagined, although there were many people criticizing Xiao Xiao, there were also many people supporting her. Both sides even cursed directly in the comment area. The anchor is 1 to 8, and you are still so confident, right? I give up. You are so bad and so stubborn. Hasn't the person above been caught and killed? In this situation, even if the professional players come, they will die. Why can't their teammates beat them, even if all the opponents are in the top lane? Is it so difficult to die less? The anchor said it well. If you just hang up in the fountain at the beginning, and don't come out, you will not die in the whole game. Is this the reason why you gave away a big guy in the top lane? Give your mother away. This dog jungler is not doing anything. What does this game have to do with the top lane? You are a player like the anchor, right? You give away everything every day and blame your teammates? Get out. Dog jungler. Miracle Walker is still brushing. Just delete this position quickly. It's disgusting. I just don't want to help you in the top lane. What's the matter? You don't want to help, right? I will send you to the top lane until you help me. If the dog jungler doesn't gank the top lane, then we can't win, and we will lose. I won't help you, even if you lose 0 to 20. It's just a game. If I'm not happy, then don't play. I don't want to play anymore. Then you lose. Zheng Filin and his friends were dumbfounded. At the beginning, the comment section was fine. Everyone was basically talking about whether it was reasonable for Xiao Xiao to die so many times and still blame others. But later, things quickly evolved into mutual attacks and insults between the two groups of players. Reasonable? At this time, the two waves of people who were cursing Red Eyes had long forgotten what reason was. The war of words spread all the way from the video comment section to Ruin Miner's live broadcast room, and it seemed to have the momentum of a prairie fire. The situation is completely out of control. What should I do? Friday is the last day of the work week. Yang Ruoqian, who was in a good mood, was more than 10 minutes late to the company as usual. As a boss, he naturally had to set an example and encourage employees to be late more often. At this time, he went to the company, preparing to happily bear the ending of Ruin Miner's project's complete failure. From the reactions of Yang Ruoqian's observation of employees in the past half month, from serious efforts to anxiety and silence, he was basically sure that his subordinates had tried their best, but still could not save his carefully planned garbage project. No recommendation, no exposure, no live broadcast effect, no excitement, nothing. It was a foregone conclusion that Ruin Miner was completely ruined. The only publicity plan that could bring her back to life was pressed on the corner of the desk in the president's office. Yang Ruoqian had made a mistake with Gaonayan and was unlucky with Huang Rushi, but this time, he was determined to win. With so many insurances, such a sophisticated plan, and such strict selection of candidates, even the industry leader Yufu thought that someone who was completely hopeless would never succeed. If the atmosphere of the entire company was not so good now, and if Yang Ruoqian had not thought of his employees who had been busy in the company for the past half month, and worried about his boss who was playing badly, he would have almost set off firecrackers to celebrate. After 2 consecutive successful projects, the company encountered Waterloo for the first time. The employees would definitely not be in a good mood, and some might even resign. Before, no matter how Yang Ruoqian said that the company did not care about the performance of employees at all, and told employees not to have pressure or work hard, the employees did not dare to take it seriously, and would still work hard secretly. Just kidding. If the boss dares to say that, do the employees dare to believe it? If Yang Ruoqian were an employee, he would not dare to believe the nonsense the boss said. And this time, with a failed case that failed to succeed even with all the company's resources, Yang Ruoqian returned to the company to perform a general amnesty drama which could completely confirm what he said before. With a real case, the employees will completely believe Yang Ruoqian's promise, no longer pay attention to performance, and no longer work seriously. The plan worked. Yang Ruoqian tidied his clothes and looked in the mirror before entering the company, controlling his expression so that he would not smile too obviously. With a squeak, Yang Ruoqian pushed open the door of the company. As soon as he entered the company, the performance of the employees made Yang Ruoqian very satisfied. The operation girl Wang Zikin was frowning at the computer, refreshing the background data again and again, looking like she was worried about the extremely bleak data. Xiaoyuki, an old classmate from the publicity department, held 2 documents in his hands, flipping through them up and down, as if wondering why his publicity strategy failed. Not only those who are directly responsible for the anchor, but even the front desk girl Lu Shuiwen and the security guard ZHU Kifan were infected by this emotion. Everyone in the company seemed to be in a state of anxiety. Seeing these people nervous, it seemed that the company would be completely ruined in the next second. Is it that exaggerated? Yang Ruoqian muttered in his heart. Isn't it just that an anchor completely failed? Why is it so gloomy? He usually behaves so kindly and gives benefits, as if he doesn't care about his life. Why are the employees still so distant? But think about it carefully. The employees work hard for the development of the company, but Yang Ruoqian, as the boss, makes all kinds of obstacles behind the scenes for the system reward, so that their hard work goes to waste. Although the company will compensate with high salaries and high benefits, it is still a bit unauthentic. Since the system is about to issue a bonus of 50 million, I will be more generous. Increase salary, a big increase. All employees, including security guards and cleaning ladies, will collectively increase their salaries by 20%. Ahem. Yang Ruoqian coughed lightly. Are you all working so hard? I've seen what you've done recently. As the saying goes, victory and defeat are common in the military. One success is nothing, and one failure is nothing either. I've seen everyone's efforts. I've decided to give everyone a 20% salary increase. Just when Yang Ruoqian felt that his words could motivate his employees, Lu Shuiwen suddenly shouted excitedly, Boss Yang, you're here. Boss Yang is back. Boss Yang, awesome. Everyone seemed to be completely unaware of the 20% salary increase. Everyone was excited when they heard the news that Yang Ruoqian had returned to the company. Wait, what's going on? As if she had sensed the movement outside, Ruin Miner, who was just about to go on air in the soundproof room, swooshed out of the live broadcast room, trotting all the way to Yang Ruoqian, extremely excited, and gave a 90 degrees right angle salute on the spot. "Boss Yang, thank you. Thank you so much." This thank you made Yang Ruoqian feel something was wrong instantly. "No way. Impossible." Shaoyuki also stood up and walked over, winking at Yang Ruoqian and said, "I was wondering why my perfect publicity plan was not adopted by Mr. Yang. It turns out that Mr. Yang himself has a more perfect plan. Why didn't you say so earlier?" Really, Yang Ruoqian was so shy to save his old classmate's face, and he praised his plan a lot, which made him feel a little embarrassed. It's embarrassing to get such a high salary. If he tells others, they will definitely think that he took advantage of his old classmate by taking a backdoor. Lawyer Ding Daoye, who didn't know much about live broadcasting, couldn't help but nod his head. "Mr. Yang is really strong. We can make the anchors that Yufu can make popular, and we can make the anchors that Yufu can't make popular even more popular." At this point, how could Yang Ruoqian not know that Ruin Miner's plan was ruined again? No, what link went wrong? Exclamation mark. Why? Exclamation mark. The good mood when he just entered the company was extinguished in an instant. But in front of so many subordinates and employees, Yang Ruoqian could only force out a seemingly happy smile. "Ah, ha ha ha, I've said it before, go your own way, you will definitely be popular, ha ha ha." Yes. The operation girl Wang Zikin happily looked at the data on the computer background. Although Ruin Miner didn't become as popular overnight as sister Gao and brother Huang, the data this week has risen fiercely and has a lot of stamina. At this time, Huang Rushi also came out and said mysteriously, "Boss Yang, in order to thank you for your efforts in the past 2 months and thank you for treating us so well, all of our employees have pulled some money and bought you a good wine to celebrate. This is also the reason why everyone was nervous and mysterious at the beginning. Giving a surprise to their boss is something that no one has done before. Sister Gao, let's toast to Boss Yang together." As soon as the voice fell, Gao Nayan came out of the entertainment room with a spade de champagne that looked extremely luxurious from the bottle. "Open the champagne. Hey, by the way, didn't Mr. Yang just say he wanted a raise? Raise? Hooray." Chapter 48, Enraged Businessmen. Looking at the bottle of brandy he had just drunk not long ago, Yang Ruoqian felt dizzy and had no mood to celebrate. Because he knew that his 50 million plan was ruined again. The employees worked hard and used their wages to buy Yang Ruoqian such a high-end champagne, but they didn't know that it was because of their efforts that Yang Ruoqian might have lost thousands of bottles of such champagne. Yang Ruoqian wanted to rush into his office right now to take a good look at the background data and analyze why Ruin Miner became popular again. But seeing that the employees were so enthusiastic and happy, Yang Ruoqian, as a boss, couldn't just leave with a dark face. Seeing that his employees had achieved results, as a boss, he should be very happy to be in line with the normal reaction. "Congratulations, congratulations, let's drink together." Yang Ruoqian forced a smile and distributed the wine to various people. "Well done, you all did a good job. You are worthy of being the elites of our Kuiguang group. Haha, haha." As for the promise of salary increase, he had said it. Could he still regret it? I can only swallow my anger. The employees who were praised were even more excited. They drank the wine in their glasses one by one and shouted that this was just the beginning and that they would make the company develop more smoothly in the future. Three anchors. As long as they are favored by their Kuiguang group, they will all succeed without exception. At this moment, all the employees felt an absolute sense of pride. As long as you enter our company, there will be no one who can't become popular. The gold content is full. People's joys and sorrows are not the same. Yang Ruoqian was completely unable to fit into this festive atmosphere. He hurriedly said a few words of encouragement, kept the last trace of smile on his face, and slowly walked into the office. All the employees looked at Yang Ruoqian's unshakable attitude, and their admiration in their hearts was even more surging. Look, this is a person who has seen big storms. When other employees were still excited about a small success and couldn't find their way, General Manager Yang came out of this mood. as expected of the person who personally trained Gaonayan and Huang Rushi. This achievement is probably commonplace for him, and Ruin Miner's explosion was also expected by him. 3 different anchors, 3 different ways of explosion. Mr. Yang has perfectly demonstrated how to accurately find the secret of success every time in this industry. That is extremely involuted. There is no high profile publicity, no overwhelming money offensive. Mr. Yang's way is so simple and unpretentious. Ruin Miner's cheeks were flushed with excitement. If the environment did not allow it, she would have wanted to rush up and call Mr. Yang twice. The internet addicted girl has been out for so long, hitting a wall everywhere, and she is almost completely desperate, but in just less than a month, since she came to Kuiguang Group, she has achieved results that she never dared to think of before. At the beginning, she thought that what Mr. Yang said was just chicken soup, comforting her ugly performance and stabilizing her mentality. But now it seems that these ideas are wrong. That's what Mr. Yang thinks, and his control of the market has long been perfect. Ding Daoyi looked at the atmosphere of the company and couldn't help but sigh again. Your college classmate is really amazing. Of course, if he wasn't amazing, why would I give up my days of collecting rent to hang out with him? Shoyuki was eating potato chips in the snack area with a smug look on his face. Although he still didn't understand how Yang Ruoqian operated, it didn't stop him from bragging in front of his father's friends. No, I mean the working atmosphere. I don't understand the data of you young people. It's really good at winning people's hearts. All the employees in a company are happy from the bottom of their hearts because the boss has made money. Almost. Working here feels like a holiday. There were cheers outside. In the president's office, the air was almost frozen. Yang Ruoqian stared at the computer startup animation with a dull look in his eyes, and his heart could be said to be galloping. Something is wrong. 9 out of 10 are wrong. I have already done such a crazy thing. Why is Ruin Miner still so popular? It's no longer a matter of common sense or not. Yang Ruoqian even doubted for a moment whether he had been cursed. What went wrong? Wearing a mask of pain, Yang Ruoqian opened the backstage of the live broadcast guild, intending to analyze the data carefully. He must figure out the cause and effect of the matter, otherwise he will definitely not be able to sleep tonight. Ruin Miner, anchor, real number of fans 126,751. Rank, who cap, bonus 50,000. Seeing the data given by the system panel, Yang Ruoqian couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Fortunately, at least 50,000 yuan was saved. At the same time, he couldn't help feeling a little sad. Once upon a time his goal was 50 million, 5 million. But now, he actually felt sincere joy for keeping an income of 50,000 yuan. It can only be said that dreams still cannot withstand the pressure of life. Clicking on the backstage of the guild and checking the recent data in the live broadcast room, Yang Ruoqian knew why Ruin Miner's data had been rising recently. Yang Ruoqian suddenly collapsed in his chair, muttering, another big mistake. This generation of netizens is so noisy. For a trivial matter, they can actually rant to hundreds of flaws. They can even get really angry over a game. It's not that Ruin Miner is popular, but 2 groups of players who have been grudges in the game for a long time finally found an outlet to vent, so they swarmed in and rant passionately in the live broadcast room. Emotions are always easily aroused, and with Ruin Miner herself fanning the flames and even taking part in the battle personally, the popularity of the live broadcast room suddenly increased. I was careless. I only wanted to disgust the audience, but I didn't expect that the audience was also divided into camps. When some of the audience are disgusted, the audience that opposes them will be satisfied, which will cause disputes. When disputes arise, the heat will rise. I'm so stupid. Why didn't I think of this at the time? I thought I had taken care of everything, but I didn't expect that there was a move short of the mark. But it's too late to say anything now. On various video platforms, some people have edited what Ruin Miner said into the so-called Bible, which has been completely included in the classics, and even has the potential to become one of the enduring cliches in the gaming industry. Becoming famous because of a bunch of cliches is a path that Yang Ruoqian had never imagined. His head was buzzing at this moment, and he just felt that his blood pressure was a little low. But at this moment, Yang Ruoqian was not the only one with low blood pressure. Peng Cheng, you food group. Lin Ko, what's wrong with you? Take a look for yourself. Bang, a document was slammed directly on the desk. Summoned urgently by the leader, the newly appointed agent director Lin Ko was stunned. What's wrong? Did he violate the heavenly rules? Why are you so angry? Leader, is there any misunderstanding? Misunderstanding? Take a look for yourself and talk about it after you finish. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 49. I warn you that 3 times is the limit. Lin Ko didn't dare to talk back to his leader. He quickly picked up the documents on the table and read them carefully. After reading them, he felt terrible. Ruoqian Miner, who was scolded and fired by him not long ago, turned around and joined the unknown Kuiguang Guild. It would be fine if she joined, but they became popular in just half a month, and they have the potential to be popular for a long time. The internet has no memory, except for bad jokes. Lin Ko's mind sank suddenly, knowing that something really bad was going to happen. If Ruoqian Miner left by herself, it would be fine, and he could also push the responsibility to his subordinates, saying that they withheld their treatment or something. But the most critical problem is that this person was fired by Lin Ko himself, and people from Kuiguang Company came to study and exchange not long ago. This is almost telling the leader that I, Lin Ko, not only have problems with my vision, but also problems with my ability. It shouldn't be like this. How could a host like Ruoqian Miner become popular? But now is not the time to analyze the specific data, because the furious leader is still waiting for him to give an explanation. Leader, this. Lin Ko suddenly felt guilty. He was a leader with a very bad temper and was very strict with his subordinates, so he subconsciously began to make excuses. This may be the data they brushed up. Brush up your ass. The leader interrupted Lin Ko rudely. Go back and write a 1,000-word self-criticism. Within 2 months, either poach Ruoqian Miner for me, or find me another similar anchor. Otherwise, I have to doubt whether it was a mistake to promote you to this position. Was it a mistake to promote you at the beginning? Isn't it just letting an anchor go? Is it that serious? Who hasn't made a mistake? Do you dare to guarantee that you will not make mistakes in your life? I have also trained a lot of mid-level anchors with good profitability. Why don't you praise me or give me a raise? Yes. Seeing that his leader was unreasonable, Lin Ko finally suppressed his anger. Don't worry, I won't make the same mistake again. Get lost. Yes. Don't be angry. I'm really sorry. Lin Ko flattered while crawling out of the leader's office. As soon as Lin Ko left the office, his face was covered with dark clouds, and he returned to his office without saying a word. Lin, brother Lin. One of Lin Ko's subordinates came over carefully. Are you okay? Have a drink of water? Nothing. Lin Ko suppressed his anger, drank the water handed to him by his subordinate, and said angrily, I must have been plotted against. Plotted against? The subordinate was stunned. Is there anyone in the company who dares to plot against brother Lin? Lin Ko sneered. Think about it. Ruoqian Miner behaved so badly when she was under my command, but she became popular when she arrived at someone else's house. Forget all these. I'm not omnipotent, and it is normal to make mistakes. But the most important thing is, how did this matter get to the ears of the leaders? Ruoqian Miner, who is said to have become popular recently, but the total number of fans on all platforms is only more than 200,000 at most. The leaders are busy with all kinds of things. How could they pay attention to her? Even Lin Ko himself didn't care about Ruoqian Miner anymore. You mean, someone reported it? It must be. Lin Ko was furious when he said this. I have done so much for the company, but there is a villain who plotted against me. I must not let me catch who it is. Then, brother Lin, what should we do next? Catch the ghost in the company? Lin Ko shook his head. It's useless to catch it. What we need to do now is to focus on the Kuiguang Guild. Speaking of this company, Lin Ko had a feeling that it was in conflict with their fate. When this group of people came to visit the company, Lin Ko wanted to show the appearance of the listed company and attract the other parties to anchors to join his team. For this reason, He even deliberately laid out his plans for Ruoqian and Huan Rushi. But after sending out the business cards, he waited and waited, but no call came. It would be fine if he couldn't poach anyone, but today he was called over by his leader and scolded because his original subordinates ran to Kuiguang and became popular. Not only did he fail to poach other people's talents, but he was poached by others. This is the biggest sucker. Okay, pay attention to Kuiguang group. But why should we pay attention to them? Poach Ruoqian miner at a high price? The subordinate took out his mobile phone, opened the memo, and carefully wrote down the leader's instructions. Lin Keo's mind was filled with Yang Ruoqian's unfathomable back, and his tone was extremely cautious. It's too late. Mr. Yang of their company is an incredible person. How can he spit out the meat in his mouth? If we go to poach people now, there is absolutely no hope of success. Even if we succeed in poaching them, we will have to bleed a lot. It's not worth it. Okay, Brother Lin, what should we do then? First of all, we must admit that Kuiguang Group is better than our team in terms of personnel recruitment and operation. The more Lin Keo spoke, the more he felt that Yang Ruoqian was really terrible. He actually dared to recruit the employees fired by Yufu without hesitation. You should know that Yufu's screening and judgment of anchors are very professional, and the fired anchors are basically assumed by industry insiders to have no commercial value. But Kuiguang dared to recruit them, and it was successful. What does this show? This shows that Yang Ruoqian not only has amazing judgment, but also is very confident. It is absolutely impossible to snatch meat from such a person. Yufu Group is much stronger than Kuiguang Group, but Yufu Group is not Lin Keo's. Comparing the identities of the two, Lin Keo actually does not have much advantage. Lin Keo took a deep breath and ignited a fighting spirit in his heart. Yang Ruoqian is indeed very powerful, but this does not mean that he, Lin Keo, has no chance. Although we are not as good as the people of Kuiguang Guild in terms of soft power, we have an advantage that they can never match. Lin Keo stood up confidently. This advantage can help us turn defeat into victory. What advantage? The subordinates were refreshed. Money. Lin Keo slapped the table. We keep an eye on the personnel changes of Kuiguang Guild. As long as they recruit the next anchor, we don't care about anything, and just dig him over. While the other anchor and the company have not established trust, and while the liquidated damages in the contract are not so abnormal, they will directly dig people over. No matter how professional the people of Kuiguang Group are, they will still have to serve Lin Keo in the end. Anyway, Yang Ruoqian's vision will not be wrong. The people he likes will be popular. Brother Lin, that's a good idea. At this time, Yang Ruoqian, who was regarded as a great enemy by the management of a listed company, was looking through Ruoqian miners' videos on various platforms. In the comment area, some people cursed and some praised, and the attitudes were extremely polarized. Some cursed directly and said that the reason why the gaming environment was bad was because of people like Ruoqian Miner. On the contrary, some said that Ruoqian Miner was purifying the gaming environment. The two groups of players confronted each other, citing classics, and many people even arranged online solos to prove who was right and who was wrong. Anyway, whenever netizens started arguing, it would be out of control, and it would be very easy to have a map cannon, which would force the original spectators to join the battlefield, causing the war to burn more and more fiercely. Originally, it was just a war of words between the top and jungle players. After a few days of fermentation, it has become a war of words between all players in the entire game. The flames of war even have a tendency to spread to other games, because the kind of unfriendly groups that check people's backgrounds have begun to appear in the comment area. Whenever they can't curse each other, they will check other people's dynamics to see if they are playing some games at the bottom of the contempt chain. If so, they will directly attack all the players of this game. In short, it can be described in 4 words. It is a mess. Not only that, some video reposting bloggers secretly arrange water troops to deliberately provoke wars in the comment area in order to make the content more eye-catching. The wider the scope of the verbal war, the greater Ruoqian miners' popularity. These verbal battles have appeared many times, but it was another wave of people who looked inconspicuous that attracted Yang Ruoqian's attention. In addition to the game players who cursed each other, there were also many people who didn't play games who had other ideas after seeing Ruoqian Miner's mouth like a machine gun. Whether the young lady accepts the order or not, it's not the order for playing with others, it's the order for being a mouthpiece. You will be my mouthpiece on the internet in the future. Can you help me scold my boss? He makes me sick of working 996 all day long. The anchor is so good at breaking defenses. Can you help me break my teacher's defenses? When she punishes people, she emphasizes collective honor, and when she rewards people, she only rewards that one person. She is so hypocritical. 800 yuan. Anchor, help me scold people for 10 minutes, okay? After watching a circle, Yang Ruoqian sadly discovered that Ruoqian Miner not only has a high popularity, but also has found a way to monetize it. Now he has no excuse to ask Ruoqian Miner to change her live broadcast style midway and force a stop loss. Yang Ruoqian rubbed his painful forehead, saying that he can't keep up with the thinking of young people now. Maybe people nowadays have accumulated a lot of pressure and resentment, and they really need a place to vent their emotions. Yang Ruoqian sighed. As a person who has experienced it, he knows how stressful life is nowadays. When he analyzed the reasons why a lot of anchors can become popular, he accidentally missed a seemingly unimportant reason. Although Ruoqian Miner's live broadcast effect is not very good, it perfectly provides a place to vent emotions. People were surprised to find that they would not be condemned for expressing their emotions here. Although the live broadcast effect is not good, this live broadcast room is stress relieving. It doesn't matter, every failure makes you wiser. Yang Ruoqian closed the web page and gritted his teeth. As the saying goes, 3 times is better. This is the 3rd time in a row that I have succeeded. I should fail once, right? After eliminating so many correct options, can Yang Ruoqian's next anchor still hit the jackpot? No, it's not enough. You can't have any fluke mentality. Chang Ziking, come to my office. There is an important task. Chapter 50, Salary Increase. I, the Ruoqian Operations Director, have been slacking off for 2 months. Now it's time to play my role. Yang Ruoqian's thinking alone is not enough. Individual strength is weak, and there will always be omissions. This time he called Chang Ziking, a woman who knows nothing, to discuss countermeasures together. He must be able to fail once. A minute later, the door of the office was pushed open. Boss Chang Ziking pinched the wine glass with 2 white fingers and said frivolously, "Why are you looking for me? Drinking during work hours?" Yang Ruoqian frowned. It's not that Yang Ruoqian doesn't allow employees to drink at work. If everyone consciously indulges in drinking instead of working, he will be very happy. It's just that Yang Ruoqian has seen Chang Ziking's alcohol tolerance. If she gets drunk in the company, things may get a little out of control. Chang Ziking put the wine glass on the table and said with some dissatisfaction, "Didn't you take the lead in drinking? Only the state officials are allowed to set fires." Ahem. Yang Ruoqian coughed awkwardly. It's because they are too enthusiastic. Employees, life is stressful, and they need to relax. Come on, they are still under pressure. Chang Ziking crossed her arms, her face full of disapproval. Tell me, what are you calling me for? Yang Ruoqian's face suddenly became serious. Don't you think that our company has been developing too smoothly since entering the live broadcast industry? Whether it is popularity or revenue, whether it is serious live broadcast or funny content, Kuiguang Group has done very well and has even established its own guild's brand reputation. During this period, many anchors have asked to join the guild on their own initiative. It is a thriving scene. Chang Ziking didn't quite understand what Yang Ruoqian meant. It is relatively smooth, but what's the problem? Isn't it a good thing that the company is developing smoothly? A life without setbacks is incomplete, and a completely smooth job is also incomplete. Now they are all immersed in the quagmire of success and cannot extricate themselves, which is not conducive to their future development. Yang Ruoqian analyzed seriously. I think they should be allowed to taste the taste of failure appropriately. Don't be arrogant when you win, and don't be discouraged when you lose. This kind of mentality is healthy. Otherwise, the higher they fly now, the harder they will fall in the future. Chang Ziking listened to her landlord's endless nonsense and actually wanted to remind him that the employees admire you as a boss very much and are proud of working for Kuiguang Group. They are not self-inflated and have a very healthy mentality. Forget it, you are the boss, you can do whatever you want. Knowing that she could not persuade Yang Ruoqian, Chang Ziking just sighed resignedly. Do you want to dampen their enthusiasm? Yes, you draw up a plan and select people in the next 2 days. We must recruit an anchor who seems to be absolutely impossible to succeed in all aspects. Yang Ruoqian said, while always paying attention to whether the system warned him, rectify the atmosphere of our company. In fact, Yang Ruoqian not only wanted to pull Chang Ziking in to draw up a big money-making plan, but also wanted to test the bottom line of the system to a certain extent. Without a legitimate reason, if employees are forced to operate their artists into a pit, they will be judged as negative behavior by the system, and no bonus will be issued. But if there is a legitimate reason, can some employees openly operate the anchor in the opposite direction? This is what Yang Ruoqian wanted to test out. And until he said everything to Chang Ziking, the system did not issue any warnings. After carefully checking the system panel, Yang Ruoqian finally confirmed that there was no problem with his operation. But he was not very happy. Although this excuse is reasonable, it can only be used once at most. It is barely acceptable to deliberately fail once, to wake up the employees, but it is impossible to fail deliberately all the time. Otherwise it will definitely be judged as passive operation by the system and the bonus will be deducted. Chang Ziking pulled up her stockings and said casually, okay, I will recommend someone for you tomorrow. Although she is not very good at choosing artists who can become popular, she can choose someone who is not popular, even if she ties a dog. Is there really someone who can't do it? After Chang Ziking finished speaking, she stretched out her hand to grab the wine glass. Snap. There was a crisp sound. Her hand that was trying to grab the wine glass was slapped down by Yang Ruoqian. Ah, what are you doing? Chang Ziking shouted aggrievedly. Leave the wine here with me, come get it. After get off work, Yang Ruoqian still remembered the last class reunion. How could he allow Chang Ziking to drink in the company? Stop joking about your alcohol tolerance, okay? Chang Ziking covered her hand that was hurt by the slap, and the grievance on her face suddenly turned into anger and shame. She really didn't expect Yang Ruoqian to bring up the last shit. No, Yang Ruoqian, do you really think that a few bottles of beer can knock me down? Who are you looking down on? But Chang Ziking could only hold these words in her stomach. She couldn't point out on the spot that the so-called drunkenness that day was just her pretending, right? The so-called drunken madness was just to seduce Yang Ruoqian, right? Then how could she hold her head up in front of Yang Ruoqian in the future? It's so embarrassing. Okay, I won't drink anymore. Chang Ziking finally knew what it meant to make up for one lie with 10 lies. Now she can only swallow her anger. When I take you down in the future, I will let you know what alcohol tolerance is. Seeing that the girl was quite obedient, Yang Ruoqian nodded with satisfaction. It's not too late to drink at home. Go to work. Chang Ziking stood up and asked casually, by the way, what about the salary increase? Is it really going to increase? Can you go back on your words? Increase. It just so happens that the salary increase goes hand in hand with the current atmosphere of pride, which may make the employees' mentality float and reduce their work efficiency. Is it a salary increase for old employees, or will the salary standards for all positions be increased in the future? Chang Ziking thought for a while and asked again. Increase the salary standards for all positions. Yang Ruoqian answered without thinking. Newcomers who have done nothing have the same treatment as old employees as soon as they join the company. Isn't this enough to dampen the work enthusiasm of old employees? It is obviously the credit of the operation department, but the legal department and even the security team can get a salary increase. Isn't this enough to make the people in the operation department slack off? Yang Ruoqian even couldn't help but admire himself at this time. In order to reduce the work efficiency of employees, he really came up with one genius idea after another. Chang Ziking was puzzled as she saw her boss making the decision without any hesitation. A live streamer is taking off, so you give everyone, including security guards and cleaners, a raise, right? What is the logic behind this behavior? But Chan Ziking soon gave up thinking about it. Forget it. Hasn't my landlord done enough crazy things recently? Although the process is bizarre, don't the 3 consecutive successes and 3 brilliant results prove the correctness of these operations? Just obey. Okay, all up to you. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.